Alright guys, I'm here today to talk about my favorite civilization, the Mayans. The Mayans are a civilization that was introduced to Age of Empires franchise uh, with the expansion of Age of Empires 2 The Conqueror. So it's a civilization that dates up to the 2000s, to the early 2000s. So it's a very ancient civilization as well. It's not part of the original 8 ones, but it just came right after in the first expansion together with the Huns, Spanish, Aztecs, and if I'm not mistaken, the Koreans. So those 5 civilizations are kind of new and complete the 13 civilizations that were available for players to use during more than 10 years. Until we have the new expansions of the Forgotten Empires and so on. But the Mayans were not so used on the very beginning because the meta was heavily played with scouts, a lot of skirmishers, a lot of knights on Castle Age, and there was not so much space. But then people started to use the Mayans to go for units such as the Plumed Archer. They discovered the Drush, and the Drush is now a new meta. So Drush, Man at Arms started to become more viable, and then people start to realize how strong Mayans could be. So it's a very special civilization, mostly an archer civilization, but you can also use the best eco warrior in the game, and we are going to get to that point. And it also has some good pressure for team games. It gives your team better walls. You have a lot of mobility with the plumed archers. You can have a very good economy, and regarding their time windows, their early game is good, and their early Imperial Age is one of the strongest ones. With fast transitions and good units, Mayans are an amazing civilization to play with. So let's go to their tech tree so that we can actually discover and find out why they are so great. Basically, starting to see the tech tree of the Mayans, they start with 1 extra view, but less 50 food. What does it mean? It means that once you are on feudal age and your opponent as well, after he made loom, you are always going to have 1 villager advantage. Always, always. And still you have a very good dark age, which can sometimes even give you some more advantage if you manage to kill a villager with your eagle or with a drush. So it's a very good sieve, and you are going to have 1 extra view in the beginning. Doesn't look like so much, but it is. The resources last 15% longer, and that's one of the most unique bonus from all the Age of Empires. Basically, it means that if you collect 100 wood from a tree with any other civilization, because this tree has like 100 wood, the Mayans will get 115 wood from the same tree. So it's kind of amazing, but basically, I'm telling you that you are going to generate resources that are not shown. Uh, just so you understand how important that is. Let's imagine a standard Arabia, and let's imagine that you were taking your main gold and the 2 extra golds. The main gold has 7 tiles, the other 2 golds have 4 each, which gives you a total of 15 tiles of gold. 15 tiles of gold plus 800 gold for each tile gives you a total of 12,000 gold. So 12,000 gold is your standard gold amount in every map, and that's the amount of gold that every civ can get. And I'm not considering relics, I'm not considering extra golds, I'm not considering any other relics or any other gold source. I'm just considering the main mines that you have in your base. The big one, the 2 others, and then there you have 2,000 golds. But the Mayans do not work like that. They will just collect more than this 2,000 gold. They will be able to collect 13,800 gold. It doesn't look like much, huh? But imagine that you are on Imperial Age and you are both using the very same resources. At some point, the Mayan will have extra 100 and 1,800 gold to use that you are not gonna have. And that's because how unique they are. Their gold will last longer. They will be able to use these golds to make extra siege, extra army. So this is incredible and gives the Mayan a lot of endurance towards the game. I like it very much. For 1v1 it's even more important, and that's one of the most special bonus from the Civ. The second one is that the archers cost less 10% on feudal age, less 20% on castle, and less 13% on imperial age. So you have cheaper archers, man. You do not need to use so much resources to make the archers, which allows you to go with to the gold or maybe to the wood with less views and invest that into the food instead, which allows you to go up faster. So those small advantages are just going to help you escalating during the game to have good uptimes to imperial age and so on. About the unique technologies, they have two unique technologies. The two are very OP. First one is Obsidian arrows. Imagine that you were just messing archers, messing crossbows. Once you reach the castle age, if you have a castle, you can make this upgrade, which will give extra 6 attack versus buildings. Guys, do you know what this means in practice? It means that you can just go against your opponent and melt his buildings. You are just going to melt his barracks, his stables, his town centers. It's a very good unit, especially for team games. Once you are in Castle Age with a big number of archers, you are just going to ignore walls. You are just going to use your archers as siege. If you play it Age of Mythology, this gives to your crossbows the same effect of the Hades unique archer. I don't remember the name, but there was an archer that was mostly used as a siege. So you can have this for the regular archers, which is amazing. So Mayans have this option now. And they have the Dorado, which is probably one of the strongest unique units from the game because it gives extra 40 hit points to the Eagle Warriors. Each Eagle Warrior starts with 60 HP. So a regular elite Eagle Warrior has 60 HP. Once you add 40 HP to them, you are increasing by a lot, like 67% their hit points. So you are just adding more than 50% HP to a unit. You are almost going for 100% HP increase. It's a 671, man. 0.71. It's amazing. There's no other upgrade that does anything similar to that in the whole game. And this gives your eagle a huge endurance. Dealing with Dorado eagles is one of the hardest things. They are so tanky thanks to this extra HP that they can just ignore most of the damage from castles and so on, and they will be amazing when raiding, and even when fighting other eagles they are always going to prevail. So this is just a great upgrade. And as a team wall, their team walls they give their teams and themselves less 50% cost on walling. So going for palisades is cheaper, going for stone walls is cheaper. If you need to make walls to defend yourself, you are just minimizing by a lot the cost of making them. So that's why they are so special. Now let's take a look on the units. Starting here with the archer range, Mayans have the full Arbalest and Elite Skirmisher with Thumb Ring. Regarding the barracks, despite not having anything at the stable, they do not have champions. So they are one of the few civilizations without champions. But you can still use it long swordsman and two-handed swordsman in some very situational cases, but most of the time you are hardly going to use this unit as the Mayan. It's very common to use, for example, the men at arms in the beginning, maybe against some opponent going for like full barracks like an Aztec. You might make a case to go for the long swordsman, but apart from that, there's no much use for this unit. They have halberdier. The Aztecs don't, they do. And they have the elite Eagle Warrior with squires, arson, and all the other upgrades. They also don't have supplies, another reason for you to not even think about going for two-handed swordsman. Going now for the siege, they have the siege run, and since they are an archer civilization, this gives them a huge siege potential if you combine the siege run and the obsidian arrows. You get the Britons, they have good archers, good range, but they do not have siege run, their archers have nothing special. If you get the Vietnamese, they only have until the capped run as well. So you can even kill other archer civilizations just by having this single siege. And in team games, of course, it's very good to have this option as well. Regarding the upgrades on the blacksmith, they have all the armors and attack for both infantry and archers, expected from a Mesosive. Regarding the water, they do not have the cannon galleons, of course, they are Mesosive, but they can just upgrade like every other upgrade here, every other fast fire, heavy demolition ship, galleons, so they have those options, and they have shipwright, which reduces the cost of the ship. So basically, you have a very solid civilization to play on the water as well. You have all the upgrades, you can just even kill some other European civilizations of water because of your technologies, like the Teutons. The Teutons do not have the bracer, for example. The Persians do not have the bracer. You can just kill other civs, the Mayans as well, just by having those extra upgrades, which makes them okay on water. There are, of course, no bonus related to water that can help the Mayans, but if you're just playing a team game and you are just playing a migration or something, you can still play fine with this. Regarding here the university, they lack Arbalests for the towers and they lack siege engineers, so sometimes they won't have so great onagers to play with. But that's okay, you can still use those onagers if the idea here is to counter skirmishers or counter like rattan archers, okay, can be used. And of course, you have architecture, so you have masonry, architecture, which gives you a lot of HP. You can get like 7k HP on your castles when they're fully upgraded, and this is great. Also fortified wall, remember that those are cheapers, and there we are on the castle. They have the Plumed Archer, one of the most unique units. Plumed Archer is an archer that has more armor, so they can fight versus other archers and trade very well, and they also have some mobility, so they are closer actually to a cave archer than an archer. It's very different, and I love this unit, I love it a lot. On the monastery, they lack redemption and illumination, so only two technologies are lacking, but lacking redemption means that you cannot convert buildings, you cannot convert siege, which might be huge, and maybe even a case for you not to go for as much as Mayans. And the lack of illumination do not allow you to regain faith so faster, so it's not a civilization that you're probably going to invest a lot into monks, okay? Regarding the eco, they only lack the second gold mining, the gold shaft mining upgrade, but they do have all the wood upgrades, all the mill upgrades. They also have guilds, which lets you use the market with a lot more efficiency on the Imperial Age, and this can also gives you a lot of advantage in 1v1 scenarios. Combine the guilds together with the extra gold you gain, and you have a very solid civilization to play 1v1, and you are probably going to be spamming gold units for more time than your opponent, which is awesome. So basically this is the tech tree of the Mayan. You are mostly going to play with them with 3 units. Arbalests or archer line, you're probably going to use it like almost every game. Eagles, situational, in 1v1 sometimes you just want to specialize on archers, but in team game you want to go for to specialize on archers, but in 1v1 you might use the eagles quite more often, and the plumed archers, which are great. A good addition to your archer composition are the halberdiers, especially if you're fighting against strong units such as paladins, elephants. Going full archers against those might not be the great idea, but you can just combine archers like plumed archers together with halberdiers, and you have a great combo to fight against civilizations that are heavily dependent on cavalry. There we go. This was the tech tree of the Mayans. Alright guys, let's talk now about the army composition of the Mayans. As every civilization, going for the early Drush is a very valid option if you are on Dark Age. So another good option that I give you is if you have this eagle, the Eagle Scout, go scout your opponent. He has 1 more attack than a regular scout. It has 5 more HP extra than a regular scout, so it's way stronger than a wolf. And a wolf can kill a view without loom, so one of these guys can surely kill the view without much trouble if the enemy has no loom. So if your enemy has no loom, attack his views, force him to make the loom. If you can spot a villager that is alone or that will take time until other villagers reaching, or that is even far away from the TC, there's a huge chance you kill it by only using the Eagle. And if you force your opponent to make loom, well, you're getting one extra view ahead, so just a small tip. But for a good army on Dark Age, either go for a Drush or don't do nothing. Once we are on Feudal Age, one of my best and favorite approaches open with the Men-at-Arms. Men-at-Arms requires some huge investment, but right after opening with the Men-at-Arms, you can pressure your opponent and making a smooth transition to Archers. Let's say that you're playing as 1v1, maybe a team game, more a team game. Just focus on starting to mass Archers. That can also be a good approach. Let's say that you are playing now a 1v1 and you are facing a civilization that has better archer than the Mayans. There aren't much, but let's focus on Ethiopians, Britons, maybe Vietnamese, maybe an Aztec player that is making way more archers than you because of his bonus. You can make a case to play with skirmishers and archers, so that's a composition that I would recommend for 1v1 scenario. I would never recommend a composition with trash unit for team games. And once, if he tries to counter that with full skirmishers, because you have a few archers in your composition, a good call is to keep the composition and slowly add Eagle Scouts to it. It's the same, it has almost like the same effect as adding scouts when you're playing skirmishers or archers and you want to counter your opponent going for skirmishers or something like that. So if you play against a Byzantine guy trying to go for full skirmishers, try to make a small tradings with your army and his. Do not let him mass a big army, and then your transition to a few Eagle Scouts is going to make a difference. If you both only have a smaller army like this one and you just show up with a lot of Eagle Scouts, you are going to surprise him and win the fight. But if you both have something like all of this army and you start slowly adding a few Eagle Scouts, they are not even gonna tickle. So if you want to do this, start slow and start by trading armies until you have like half of that, and with half of that you start transitioning to Eagle Scouts. This is more to 1v1, okay? Now let's move to Castle Age. My favorite and the one that I use in 90% of the games whenever I'm playing a team game. Full Crossbowman. Another one that I might use, especially in 1v1, or if I want to fully focus on army on Castle Age, Crossbowman and Elite Eagle, and Eagle Warriors. So this composition might be stronger. The idea of this composition is to always leave your archers behind. Use your eagles to tank some hits while cleaning up the enemy army with the Crossbowman from the distance. So that can be good. You can even fight against civilizations that are focusing more on the Castle Age. But if you have the option, I would still rather just keep a big mass of Crossbowmen instead of this approach here. Okay? Let's move out. Another approach is, let's say that you went for the Eagle Warriors approach on the Castle Age. You had a good case to transition then. You are fighting a Khmer that was massing a lot of skirmishers, and you felt like you could raid him a lot, and you went for eagles. But he starts to counter you with knights, maybe elephants, and it's not becoming viable to use this. So maybe a full infantry composition with eagles and pikemen might be useful in some of those situations, okay? Especially since you can follow up these on Imperial Age. And plumed archers. If you are in a map that you can wall yourself easily and your opponents can survive, or even in a 1v1 where it's easy to wall, plumed archers are a very solid choice. Unit with range, mobility, strength, pretty much one of my favorite units on the game. Let's move now, fortified wall one from the Burmese. To the Imperial Age. You can use elite plumed archers in siege run. Most of the time, whenever I'm playing a team game, that's the composition that I want to be using and pressuring when I'm playing with the flank. I want to have the plumed archers for the mobility, for the strength, to fight against other ranged units that are very good. There are very few ranged units that can stop the plumed archers, and of course, since they have the mobility, even if you're not stopping the other units, you can just move your map around the map, try to raid their trade, try to chase other goals in the game, not just fight static. And versus most ranged units like ranged unit civs like the Britons, the Vietnamese, One thing that you want to use is the siege run, because some of those civs do not have the siege run. So if you just get a bulky unit like the Plumed Archer together with a few siege run, you can make some very nice pressure. So that would be my favorite composition for the Mayans on the Imperial Age. But let's go and check a few others. Especially for 1v1, you decided that you can play and raid a lot on Imperial Age, so Elite Eagles with El Dorado might be a good call. Enemy starts to counter you with Cavalry. He has a civilization that doesn't have great champions like the Huns, and his only chance to counter you is to go for something like full cavalry. Well, just add halbs and this composition will most of the times win the game for you. Or let's say that you were fighting a 1v1, you try to focus on the Plumed Archers, and your enemy is not joking around. He's trying to stop you with full paladins like the Frank, or with elephants as Khmer. Well, why not just adding halberdiers to the Plumed Archers, and whenever you need, just let the halberdier die, go back with the plumes, regroup the halbs, fight again. That's probably it. It's way more simple than other civilizations, but in 9% of the cases, as I have stated, this will be your army composition. A bunch of crossbowmen, okay? So this is mostly what we're going to focus on the builds, and I hope you guys have at least some sense. I do not recommend using trash units as Mayans. I'm totally against it, especially in team game scenarios. GG. Alright guys, let's go for the build orders. The first one here is population 23 into archery. How this build works, you start by making the loom, queuing up the views, making 2 houses and sending 1 view here to eat the cows. Explore with the cows if you are already efficient doing that. If not, just use the eagle. You go back to the TC and we are going to make our TC sustain itself by having 6 views here on the food. Once we have 6 views on the food, our TC will never stop if we just keep him full of food here for those views to eat. We have now 6 views on the food. We can go now to the wood. Since you are Mayan, if you want to, you can already send this 7th villager of yours to start walling. That's an option. I like to do this. I never thought about showing this on a build, but I'm gonna do it. So just send a view here to start making some walls. And then we're going to put 4 views on the wood. So what's the idea? This build is a bit slower. And let's say that you were playing a team game, and you are the flank, you have the Mayans, and you do not want to open with the Drush, you sometimes mess up your eco going for the Drush. So the idea of the build is we just are going to forget about this guy, he will just keep protecting our base, so that we are protected until we reach the next stage, and we're just going to follow the build pretending that he doesn't exist. The wood consumption from the Mayan is the lower that you can have with any other civ because their walls are cheaper, as we saw. And we can just keep this guy building here. The idea will be to be fully walled by the time we reach the feudal age. We're eating here our last of the initial food sources. The next villager here will go to the boar to hunt. So we're on the 3rd cow or on the 4th sheep if you start with the sheep, and we're going to get the boar. By the way, do not forget to use your waller to make houses for you. Since whenever you are like 2 population from getting housed, you just stop him to make walls and order him to build a house like he's doing here. Alright? Put another view here. Our waller is doing his job, he's doing a very good job walling. We are now sending more views to the berries because we are already going to have 8 hunters. There we go, 8 hunters now eating the boar. We are going to add 4 guys to the wood. I'm not even gonna focus too much on the scout, but you can see that with the line of sight of the eagle scout, we mostly found everything that we wanted to find. And I will keep walling. I'm going to wall here on the front. Sometimes you might be fully walled by 9 minutes where you were entering feudal age. Sometimes you might not. It's very dependent on the map. But it doesn't matter which map you have. If you already start walling early on, like I'm doing, the chances are that you are going to be at least very protected by the time you reach feudal age. Oh, time for the house, remember? So let's go for the house. People are going to hate me for showing this build, right? I'm teaching people to wall. Very soon, you are going to be fully walled and still playing feudal age. Quite nice, huh? Hard to die. I'm bringing now the board back to the TC and adding 2 extra views. I'm going to do this until I have 14 views here on the food, so only one more. There we go. We have now 14 views on the food. We had the 8 hunters plus 2 extra hunters, 4 views here on the berries, and I'm going to send back the views to the wood. I'm going to complete the first lumber camp here with views until I have 6 on it. I will try to go up with population 23. Already queuing up here the views on the ship after they finish the boar. Our builder is still doing a good job. It's around 7 minutes and a half and he already walled a big area for us. If you are playing a 1v1 or in a higher elo and you want to defend yourself from a Drush using the full wall, my recommendation, my personal recommendation is for you to try to use more views on the wall. By the way, we just returned the views to the TC and click it up here with population 23. Now I'm going to distribute the views. I want to have at least 6 views on each lumber camp. So I'm distributing. I'll have 2 lumber camps with 6 views on each one, and I'm going to send 3 villagers to the gold already. Our builder at this point, he can just start building the buildings that we are going to actually use during the feudal age, like the barracks. If you feel like you want to finish your walls already, you can do it by sending views to finish the small pieces like this one. And then go back to the wood, like this one in the back, and going back to the food, like this one here on the gold. Like just send the view to finish this, and go back to the gold. There's nothing stopping you from doing it. We have 6 views collecting food. We have a good amount of food on the bank here. Let me pause right after we've reached the feudal age. Okay guys, there we are. We reached the feudal age. It's around 10 minutes. We are almost fully walled. If you are playing a team game, you are pretty much safe from most of the threats. You should just take a look on those views finishing the walls, because if you have an enemy that's trying to kill you before you do that, he's probably going to target those views. But there's no problem. The idea is here is that we walled like 8% of our map already on Dark Age with that 7th view of ours. So all of this it is doing. Now we are starting to make the ranges. We are still a bit short on the wood, probably because of how much walls we did. But the idea here is, since we are Mayan, we can still afford to make 2 ranges. Maybe not immediately, but we're just going to start one, and as soon as we have the wood, we're going to make the second one. This villager is making the house. This other one will start to make the range. See? We're going to send all the new views here to the gold, okay? We're going to send the views to the gold until we have 6. We're going to upgrade the wood, and as soon as we finish the house, we can already make a case to start the second range as soon as we have the resources. So right now we are starting the range. We are fully walled. The villagers are returning to their initial place. We minimize the amount of time used to wall. We are already fully protected. We are not going to worry about that. This view will go back to the ship now that we finished building. We're just going to start messing archers, and we are going to leave our builder once again building, but this time he will be building houses for us. Alright? We have now 6 views on the gold. We are just collecting more food, and we are messing up archers, okay? Since our resources last longer, we still have some sheep to eat. Oh my god, we got housed. I guess he wasn't fast enough. We underestimated our army output here. This guy should have done this house a bit early. Let's keep making houses. Keep making archers. As soon as you can afford both view and the upgrade, go for the horse collar upgrade. And once you are making the horse collar upgrade, you start transitioning from ships to farms in order to grow the eco. Now that we have a lot of views on the woods, we can just keep this guy making houses for us. Still making archers. Select another view to help us by making a blacksmith. The idea here of the blacksmith will be allowing us to make the fletching. And every spare wood you have, you are going to use at this point to make farms. So that's the idea. You are fully safe. You are just messing archers. It's a more passive build. If you want to attack, you just need to finish the fletching first. Whenever we have more than 60 wood on the bank, we are going to drop a farm. This villager will not stop making houses. We are not stopped to make archers. So archers are being made here non-stop. This guy is making the houses. I'm just reinforcing the walls here with the houses, so it's very difficult for an opponent to break in. We are going to be safe until Castle Age. With this build, you are always going to survive Castle, most of the cases. And now I'm going to make the fletching, because I have enough food to keep making views and the upgrade. Remember, the idea here is to keep making farms. We're going to go through this process until we have at least 14 views on the food. It's around 15 minutes and we are about to reach the number. I'm gonna build a gate here for our archers to go out. Guys, take a look on how much archers we have already. We have a huge number. We completed now and we have 14 views. Oops. 14 views, 15 views on the food. The idea now that we have all these views on the food is to send like 4 more views to the goats. Why are we sending 4 more extra views to the goat, Stark? Because we need these 6 only to produce the archers. If we want to go to the next stage, we are going to put extra views here. So that's what we're doing. Our builder has no rest, guys. Since we're messing up a huge amount of archers, if these guys rest, we are not gonna be able to keep producing the archers, see? Now that we have the 4 extra views, we have 6 views just to produce archers, we have 4 extra views to allow us to get enough resources to go to the Castle Age. We're still making the archers, we're making now the wheelbarrow. A good idea is to make a transition from your berries to farms. Do it slowly, like I'm trying to do here. The berries, if all the berries finish, you are going to need a huge amount of wood on the bank, which is not the case. Our builder is still working hard, we're still making a lot of archers. We have the fletching. If you want, you can be already attacking or fighting with this huge amount of archers. And the secret, guys, when playing with archers is to have numbers. Now we finished the wheelbarrow. At any time, at some time from now, we are going to be able to have. We're going to be able to go up. If you can just play with 2 ranges like this, and start already to send those extra views that we are going to make here until we can go up to the wood. That's an option. So instead of having only 12 views, we are going to have something like 14. Those villagers will help you to decide on either adding extra ranges or making the ballistics or making siege or allowing to boom as well. Our builder is not stopping, he will never stop. Or if you want, you can at this point already think about a transition because we already have the resources banked up to go castle. So a good option for you is to already add more ranges right now. If you want to play like full archers on Castle Age, let's say you want to play with like 4 archer ranges, this is a good time to already start adding extra ranges, okay? Or just keep going to the wood, click up to Castle Age, and keep massing archers from 2 archer ranges. The secret, guys, whenever you're playing with archers is to always rely on the numbers. You should always be relying on the numbers. We are getting gold with a lot of views. We are not removing those 4 views now, guys. Why we're not removing if we already had the resources to go up? By the way, let's make the gold mining upgrade. We are not removing because once we are in Castle Age, we are not only need to keep making the archers, which those 6 views are allowing us to do, but we are also gonna need gold to upgrade Crossbowman, Bodkin Arrow, Ballistics, Crossbowman 75 gold, Bodkin Arrow 100 gold, Ballistic 175 gold. That's why, despite making archers here, we are still banking up some gold because we are going to need around 300 gold just in order to make all the upgrades that we want. And remember that we keep adding the views to the wood until we could go up. Now we have a huge amount of views. We have almost 100 wood banked up here, and the idea of having all this wood instead of just adding a lot of farms is that we want to go for the ballistics, and we also want to start booming as soon as we are on the castle. Okay, so that was actually planned, and we'll need this to set up a good eco. We're not going to reach Castle Age so early because we just mastered like a lot of archers on feudal. That was very intense for the eco, but now that we are on Castle Age, you can upgrade the Crossbowman, upgrade the Bodkin Arrow, already start making the university to go for the ballistics. If you need to get ballistics faster, my suggestion for you is just select more views and build it faster. And we are already adding the extra TCs. Alright, there we go. Still making archers. Bodkin Arrow was upgraded, Crossbowman was upgraded, the wood upgrade is a must, so whenever you go to Castle Age, focus on this upgrade first. Ballistics now, so we're researching it. Once we finish our TCs, we will be wanting to keep making views from them. And since we already have 14 farms, the idea here to allow us to boom is to add only 4 more farms, so we are going to have like 18, and with 18 farms, those TCs are never gonna get idle, alright? So now that we have the 3 TCs, we're just going to add 4 more farms, and those 4 extra farms will allow us to keep those TCs working just fine. Now it's a time for decision making. We have a bunch of archers, they already have the ballistics, you can just keep messing forever. I've removed the 4 views, the 4 extra views here from the gold, guys, and I put them to build the town center. Now they're just collecting wood. With this, with all the upgrades done, I only still need the 6 to still making the archers. I do not need to overreact on that. But if I want, and now we have to talk about the decisions. If you want to add siege, like mangonels, and that might happen especially in 1v1s, you will have to bring back views to the gold in order to support the mangonel production. If you want to add more archer ranges, like you want to play with 4 ranges here, you are going to need to add 6 more views from those back to the gold in order to get enough gold to still make the Crossbowman. If you're feeling safe and you are already thinking about going for obsidian arrows, might be a good idea to take like a lot of those views to the stone in order to go for the castle as early as possible and already add extra views here to the gold. Or if you just want to keep playing and make a transition to the plumed archer composition that we talked before, my personal suggestion, once you have 7 views here, once you have 18 farmers, you can either rush your uptime by rushing out to 30 farms, or you can already think about dropping the castle, so we just give priority to get like 7 views and putting them on the stone. So it will always be situational. Sometimes you'll be wanting to reach Castle Age first, to reach Imperial Age faster. Sometimes you are going to want to use more Crossbowman on Castle Age. Sometimes you are going to want to play with Obsidian arrows. So we're just going to make some versions of that, alright? Let's go for it. Alright guys, let's go for the basic follow-up here, which is just completing our eco until we can go to Imperial Age and produce Arbalests or any other unit. So let's go for it. The goal here is to go in fast and go for Arbalests. We are already booming, so how are we going to follow this up? We're just going to rush until we have 30 farmers. Since I'm going to make at least 12 extra farms, I can make a case to upgrade the Revi Blow. I'll keep sending views to the wood. And I'm just going to use all the wood that I have banked here to make farms. Remember that we want to get around 30 farmers. So that's what I'm gonna do, while still spamming the archers, okay? I want to still spam the archers. Oh. There we go. We have 27. Not so hard, right? In 2 minutes we could get all of those done. Right here we have 30 farmers. What's the next step? Now that we have 30 farmers, a good idea would be transitioning more views to the gold in order to quickly get around 800. So I'm moving 6 views from this wood. I'm gonna move 6 views from the other wood. I'm still making the archers. We already have one building here, which is the university, so might be a good idea to make a second one. Maybe if you are defending, you might just want to make a siege workshop if you are especially defending from armies that can help you to diminish their armies, or maybe just a monastery if you are doing a good job enough with the archers and you do not need anything else. So a lot of views collecting gold. Since we do not need much wood, we can play like this. If you want already to set up the transition to plumed archers, might be a good time to get at least 7 views and switch then back to the stone. Still making archers. The wood is growing, as you can. The food is growing here that we have 30 farmers. The gold is also growing now that we put more views on the gold. We are about to click up. I will just make like 2 more views on this CC, keep making views on that one, keep making views on that one. Uh-oh, our builder stopped building houses. He can't. He needs to stop to keep building. Since the priority here is to reach Castle Age, Imperial Age faster, I'll just keep making the archers here. Wait until I finish collecting the food. Put some views inside and we are already going to Imperial Age. So if you want to play with quickly Arbalests, that's the idea. That's how the eco should be set up. 30 views is more than enough for that. We're still making archers. If you want to make a case for going like full Arbalests, now that we have all these views in the gold, the only thing we need is to add extra ranges. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna just add extra ranges here. 6 ranges already, yeah? We just passed 80 view mark, so a good case for us would be to make a handcart. Still sending views here. Making archers, making archers. We can already think about upgrading those archers. Huh? I didn't upgrade the stone yet, the priority was to click him, so let's upgrade the stone. Making more archer ranges. And making more archers. As soon as we have a spare of 300 wood, 300 food, we are going to increase the accuracy and the fire speed of our archers by adding here more accuracy to it using the thumb ring. If you feel like you are going to have to fight and even tank some melee damage from enemy knights or enemy units, might be a good idea for you to just keep to add armor. But I would rather just wait here to use the food that I have in order to upgrade the archers, okay? We're making a lot of archers here. Enemies trying to play us with skirmishers, that might not be good for us. Still, the idea here of the archers is to play with numbers. If we just patrol in the correct place, we're just going to tank. The secret of the Mayan gameplay, guys, is the numbers. Archer numbers. So, now that we are in Imperial Age around 32, upgrade Arbalest, upgrade Bracer, give priority to those upgrades, upgrade Chemistry. If you just want to harass everyone on the game now with Obsidian arrows, might be a good idea to just drop a castle and upgrade them. Since we're actually focusing here a lot into Arbalests, That would be the idea, okay, if you go very early to Imp. So just drop a castle whenever, wherever you want, even with more views if needed. Upgrade the wood once you can. If you want to keep making a lot of archers, send more views to the gold until we have around 30. If you want to make a transition to plumed archers, send more views to the stone to collect it as fast as possible, and even upgrade the second stone up. Still add the archers and upgrade the obsidian. So around this time, if some of your opponents didn't focus too much on the boom, and if you just managed not to pick bad fights and you have a huge mass of archers ready, you can just walk around with your allies, whatever you want with those archers with obsidian, and kill everyone. Later you can make a switch here to plumed archers by sending all those views that we are sending here to the stone. Distribute the views better on the wood. With the 30 view that we have here, we are pretty much just going to be fine. Dodge mangonels if needed, kill monks if needed. Monks are not a hard counter, right? And just patrolling, and you are just going to erase every building and every army that's not an Imperial army by now. Upgrade the mill, upgrade the armors. I'm playing with no armor, guys, you see? I'm just relying here on the strength. Armor should be upgraded, but I always give priority to actually going up here with the attack. And look how fast you can kill buildings now that you have obsidian. You are fighting a guy that's trying to make knights, just focus on his stables and melt those stables. Keep advancing with your siege archers here and kill everything. Slowly add the other castles here, upgrade plumed archer, upgrade conscription, and then you make the transition, and there the game can go on, okay? That's it, that's how we give priority to going up faster to Imperial Age. I would still never recommend you to not use ballistics. We made a very fast Imperial Age here with 3 TCs, so it's actually an Imperial Age that allows us to have a good amount of eco, even if we lost our army. With all these range that we built here, we could still remake it, and since we have around 100 views now, we can already just keep our eco going, making now the castles for the plumes. We could already start adding siege to play already with our post-imp army composition. And let me take a look here. We actually managed to reach Imperial Age around 32 minutes. This means that we click it up around 28. It's not a bad time. You can challenge this time. We just did a very basic version of this build. You can challenge this time for sure. You can try to do something more fast with like UTCs only, huh? Might work. You might not need 30 farms to do this. But with this very regular build here, even not getting amazing times, just by getting the regular ones and making and massing the archers, and this is the key, to mass the archers. We have almost 100 archers here. If you go for the timeline, look how our army line actually grows. You can pretty much be fine, okay? So that would be the idea of playing with the population 23 archers. And massing archers is the key. Do not take bad fights, just hold your archers, make a basic eco. Since you are Mayan, you do not even need siege. Your archers itself are siege once you make the obsidian, and you can just kill anything on your way. So that was the first transition here, or the first follow-up for our build. Right guys, following up the first build from the archers, you just establish a good eco here. You have 18 farms, your TCs are running, and your game is very intense. Despite adding the TCs, you are feeling pressured and you need to fight on the castle age. You need to be strong on the castle age. Your opponent will just not sit up waiting for you to boom until Imperial Age. You need to fight on the castle. So what's the idea here? What should you do in this situation? My personal advice, if you have more archers, keep making them. Keep adding views like we are here, and already think about adding new archer ranges. So we can just add like 2 extra archer ranges at this point instead of investing into the farms. Get 6 extra views to the gold. With those 6 extra views here to the gold, you are just going to be able to produce from those ranges. And of course, if possible, invest as well on the quality of your army by upgrading the thumb ring. Instead of messing up resources to the Imperial Age, we're going to upgrade thumb ring. Keep adding archers with more ranges. And that's basically it. Right now, 12 views on the gold, we can just keep spamming archers from 4 archer ranges. Oh no, Stark, I want to focus even harder here on the castle age. Alright, let me give you the tip. Put some views on the stone as much as you can. We are doing it because we are going to get Obsidian quicker. Okay. With Obsidian we can pressure our opponents. We are going to get 6 extra views here on the gold. And make yet 2 extra ranges. You can see that we have already banked up around... we had almost 300 gold. So with this amount of views we can easily get 300 hold of 300 gold. Our TCs are not stopping because we have 18 farmers, right? So that's fine. We just cannot stop making houses. If you go for those approaches of full castle age, my advice for you is to keep at least 2 views focused here on building houses. We are spamming now archers from 6 archer ranges. We are collecting stone readily. I forgot the upgrade. And the idea here is once we finish to collect this, we are going to be able to add obsidian arrows to our composition and pressure the enemy on castle age. We have more than 60 archers already. We are still messing archers. All the archer ranges are producing archers here, you see. Our TCs are all producing food. A good advice, now that we have all the archer ranges running, is to already start setting up our eco to the later stages of the game, which can be done by adding more farms. So all the excedent of wood should be invested into farms, like in the previous follow-up, like if you wanted to go for the Imperial Age. So we are just going to use the spare wood here to get 30 farmers. We're obviously not making it as fast as in the first transition. The reason is also quite simple. We're not gonna do it for the very reason that we are actually using a lot of wood for the ranges, a lot of wood to keep producing archers, a lot of wood to keep producing houses. We are almost reaching 200 population here with huge army numbers. We can now drop already our castle. Very nice, right? And once we have this castle, we are going to need around 300 wood and 300 gold and 300 food, if I'm not mistaken, to make the obsidian arrows. Since we have at least 3 views for each archer range, and since our archers are cheaper than the others, we can just make a case for that. I'm still investing here to farms. If you are playing with this army composition here, man, you should be attacking with this amount of crossbows, with 6 ranges, and very few civilizations can play like that. You should be already ahead of your opponent. We are with 200 population already. More than 100 army, believe it or not. Just upgrade obsidian arrows, finish your other upgrades for the archers if you haven't finished it, and erase your opponent from the face of earth. You can potentially fight against him because of your numbers. Even if you lose some archers, every trade will be good for you if you're actually focusing on early 6 ranges here. Be sure that you are on your way to Imperial Age by having at least 30 farmers. Upgrade the handcart once you can. If you want to add more views to the gold, add already more views to the stone. Do not let the spare wood to be stuck for longer. You already need to think about your transition to the next stages. Having only 100 views here is not a bad idea, because we are actually investing heavily. And right here, on this situation, you can just win the fight, walk around your opponent, and force him out of the game with this amount of crossbows here. Since you have Obsidian, taking down a TC shouldn't be a problem for you. Look how fast you can actually do it. If you have your archers grouped here, just aim on the enemy TC. With a few shots, you can take it down. So your siege potential and your potential to finish the game at this stage is huge. See? What could your enemy do, man? Nothing. And if you take a look on our eco, we were ready already to click up to Imperial Age. We are ready already to drop extra castles and already make our transition to a stronger unit other than the Arbalest, which could be the Plumed Archer. But honestly, if we just force the archers here, we probably won. So that's a variation going on from the basic 3TC opening on castle, which is a more conservative one. But I have seen players going for 2 extra ranges already on their way to the castle age and just playing like 4 ranges to later go for the TCs. This is even more aggressive, and I have seen it working. But if you play this very regular one, you are just going to have no trouble at all. So in the first one, we played forcing up the up time to go to the Imperial Age and have Arbalests around 32-33 minutes. In the second one, we force up our numbers to have a very solid castle age and erase our enemies from Earth. So those are the some two variations showing that you can focus on the castle age, you can focus on getting fast to imp, but you need to use this time window of the Obsidian Warriors to siege on the castle, of the cheaper archers to mess up a lot on the castle, or just go faster to Imperial Age. So those are the transitions that you should be thinking whenever you are playing with the Mayans, okay? Those are my favorite ones for team game. I hope it actually helps you guys to achieve this. GG. Alright guys, I'm here to show you the second build that I truly like and use a lot for the Mayans. This one will be the build here for men-at-arms and archers. This build has some very unique features on it. It allows you to have both pressure on early feudal age and early castle. And instead of focusing on messing up a lot of archers, we are actually going to focus on hitting our enemy early on and follow that up by a farm boom on feudal, very similar to how we play whenever we are playing with scout civilizations, which is going to allow us to click up faster than the regular messing archer build or the two-ranged builds. We are actually aiming to get a castle age around 20 minutes, so that will be the goal of this build. So how are we actually doing it? The beginning, it's very similar to the other, and since we're talking about population 23 here, we have quite some time on Dark Age, right? We're not forcing up crazy pops like the scout builds, which are always like population 18, 19, you want to go feudal age way before 9 minutes. That's not the case here. We found the boars, we found the gold. If you can, choose your best wood, because I like to play this build with only one lumber camp. The idea of having one lumber camp will be discussed later on, but so you guys get the basic concept. The concept of going for a men-at-arms build order. You need to start investing heavily on the wood in the beginning of the game, which means 4 views already on the wood, because we are going to need a barracks very fast, and we are also going to need to add mining camp for the gold. I'm sending out the 4th view to the boar. I could have just sent the view early on not to eat this ship, but since I start eating very early on, it's still fine to eat like 5 sheep in the beginning, no issue with that. My eagle is just exploring for us. Let me send a villager to build the house already. And select and put here 8 views hunting the boar. Now our eco is going to stay cool. Whenever you have situations like this, that you have like 45 food on the bank, just select one view to drop the food. You are still going to make the view, and you are not going to put all of your views idles. That's actually good. We are now going to get the berries. I'm going to add 4 views to the berries, making the berry, go for it. Oh no, we have the 4 sheep. I'm crazy. Forget what I thought about the 50 sheep. My eyes were just not so good. We're now going for the second boar already. We have a view making a house here. Still collecting the food from the boar. You see, guys, that we already have enough food to add, almost enough wood to add the barracks. So imagine that we were playing with the Drush build order. This would be the time which we would be adding the barracks and sending a view to collect the gold. But since we're going for men at arms, we're not gonna do it. Eating now the second boar. I'm a bit late. There you go. If you cannot fit like all the views in the boar, which is what happened here, what do? Start eating the sheep. The idea here is to keep eating the resources. I'm going to add another view here until I have like 15. And the next 3 villagers already have a destination. The 21 view will go forward and make a barracks for me. And the other 2 are going to go for the gold, okay? These views here from the boar and from the sheep, once they finish collecting the food from the boar, they are going to collect the sheep. So there goes my view, making here the barracks. You see that I already started building in the front of my gold. The layout that I want here is to build around my resources, connecting the woods and making myself safe. I'm going now for the gold already with the other views. Going for the gold, going here. And I'm almost ready to click up to the next stage, guys. Clicking up to the next stage. I guess I'll have to keep eating some sheep here. This villager will now proceed to make house for me. I'm going to make a few houses, at least 2. We'll only keep 2 views now on the gold. I'm making the militia. The idea is that whenever you go for this build, you should start making the militia as soon as you finish clicking up to the next stage. And we are going to send 4 views from the food to the wood once we finish it, queuing up the man-at-arm, and we bank it up some food, enough for us to make the upgrades and the views. How much food do we need? We need food for the man-at-arm upgrade, for the wood upgrade. We also need food for the views, so at least 250 food is needed by the time we reach the feudal age. That's why I have to keep that much views on here. But I also need to collect wood, so I'm going to send 4 of those views already to the wood. And having 8 views on this lumber camp is like the maximum that can actually hold. Will allow me to add an archer range as soon as possible. You see that I'm almost finishing to eat the resources. If you want, that might be a good time for you to already add some extra farms, or you can wait for the upgrades. On this situation here, I'm already going to add a few farms. Let's make a more standard build. So 3 extra farms. The militias are ready here, around 10 minutes. Sending those guys to the stagglers for now. Let's pause. So we are on feudal age. We are making views. We are upgrading man-at-arm. We are upgrading the wood. Those are our priorities. Views, man-at-arm and wood, or view, wood and man-at-arm. As soon as we have enough wood for it, guys, what are we going to do? We are actually going to add an archer range and start producing archers as soon as possible. So I'm already adding this archer range, as you can see. Since I have at least 7 views here eating food, I can make a case to go up to make up the horse collar and make a lot of farms. Or in some situations, I have seen players playing without the horse collar on the feudal age. Can it work? It can. villagers going back to the stagglers. I'm already starting to make archers. I will select one view here to be our builder. We are always going to have the builder. And right here, you have to analyze the situation. You have the men-at-arms attacking your opponent already. You are making archers. If you want to be more aggressive, my suggestion for you here is, before you invest into a lot more farms, you put like one more view on the gold, and you invest into a blacksmith. But if you want to play more oriented towards the uptime and getting up a good eco regarding the farms, instead of adding the blacksmith or instead of adding another view to the gold, you're just focusing on putting the seven next villagers to the food. So let's get it. The villagers from the stagglers, and we are going to put those guys on the food here. Whenever we have enough wood floating here, we are going to drop a farm. Meanwhile, we are slowly adding some archers, and our men-at-arms are attacking. If you watch the other build, at this time in the other build we were not attacking, we didn't have deflection yet, and we were not yet messing farms because we had like 6 views on the gold, and we had already 2 archer ranges. So here we are sacrificing our numbers, playing only with a few archers and men-at-arms in the beginning because we want to add farms. If you want to pressure your opponent, what you should do is to drop the blacksmith. But if you do not want to pressure him, if you just feel like you can pressure him with the men-at-arms and you are okay with just floating the archers, it's fine for you to just keep adding the farms, like I'm doing here. I'm hitting the stagglers a lot. I didn't invest into a second lumber camp. I didn't invest into a second archer range. I didn't put more views in the gold. So right here, I already have enough views to go to the castle. I already have like 14 views. So if I want to go to the castle, I'm fine. And I can pressure my opponent with the men-at-arms and the few first archers that I have. So right now, another decision for us to make. Do you want to start massing archers rapidly? Save the wood to make already a second archer range. Do you want to set a good eco to boom later? You can even invest into a second lumber camp. Do you want to boost your uptime or the time within you were reaching the castle age? You might just try to go for the wheelbarrow here and extra farms with the spare wood. I'll just try to play standard, keep making archers. Remember, if we have 3 views on the gold here, just allowing us to go to make archers, we might need an extra villagers to go to the castle. So I'm going to start making extra views, but I'm already going to drop the wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow, extra views. I want to reach castle age fast here, so I'm just going to do the fletching because I want to attack. If you are not attacking, you can even make a case for not going for the fletching to go even faster up. And I'm actually going to add a few more farms here. This way, guys, I'm actually going to click up as soon as possible to the castle age. It's very different from the other archer builds. The only downside of that is that you are not going to have a lot of archers. With the other build, we already had around 15 archers. With this one, we have way less. But since we have the men-at-arms and the eagles that we made on the beginning, you can just counter enemy skirmishers using those guys. Now that we already finished the wheelbarrow, we can even go for the second range and start to catch up on the numbers. So that will be the idea. We are going to catch up on the numbers. If you want, you can even invest into a second lumber camp. No issue with that. Still messing the archers. We have the fletching. The idea when you are going for this strategy is not to get too much direct fights. I'd rather just get my archers around and try to raid my enemy eco, not fight like army versus army. We're going heavy for the gold. Making archers, making houses. You can now make a case for making a second lumber camp, maybe in the same wood, maybe adding another lumber camp in a secondary one, to already set up your eco in a layout that will allow you to be more effective, to go to the castle age. You see that is around Right now we are around 17 minutes and a half. We did the fletching, we did the Man-at-Arm upgrade, we invested a lot into army on the beginning. We're just raiding, not picking direct fights, and we are still clicking up to castle. See? Now it's up to you. Whatever you want to do here is just a matter of how you want to play the game. Do you want to play regular like we did in the previous game? Just get those views, add them to the wood. Just leave the 10 here on the gold to make the upgrades and keep making the archers. If you want to go like full aggressive and focus on one archer range, 1-2-C style, you can just add extra ranges. You are still going to need a few more time to match the archers since you started later. So right here, after the early feudal age, you might try to fully wall yourself until you get safe to the castle. So the key here is to use the early castle and keep raiding. And once you are in castle age, you can just follow the boom, you can just add this. If you didn't do the fletching and you even focus on getting the ostriches early on, you might even make a case to go up faster than 20 minutes. But instead of going for like 22 or 23 like we did before, which are not so great uptimes, going for one range allows you to heavily invest into farms like we did on the castle age, in the early feudal age, sorry. And this allowed us to get to the castle age faster than in the other builds. Right now it's around 20 minutes and a half and we are just reaching the castle with enough resources to even pressure our enemy with better army composition, with more upgrades, so Crossbowman, Botkin Arrow, upgrading the wood, of course, making the university here to make the ballistics. Since we have a lot of farms here, we added extras. We can even go already for the thumb ring if you want. That's another good upgrade for you, and you can just try to out-micro your opponent. Another suggestion is, whenever you're playing with this build, you need to be very specific into using the time windows. So what I mean is, you need to use the time windows, you need to attack. At this point, if your opponent went for like 2 ranges, he's not yet ready to fight you. So you need to use that to pressure him, even make more upgrades to trade, try to force fights in the beginning. You can just out-micro his feudal age army using the extra range. With thumb ring, like we have here, we can just pick up army easily without any trouble. Pick one by one if you want. If you want to keep pressuring, already add siege, so that by the time he reaches the castle age around 23, 22 or 23, and he can now match your army in terms of quality, you already have the forward position and you can pressure. If you want, you can even go for the +2. So this strategy here is a bit more aggressive on both early feudal and early castle age. I truly like it. And honestly, guys, this is probably my favorite build for the Mayans in 1v1. I also use this on the team game, but it's less conservative. So since it's less conservative, I might not be able to mass a lot of archers in the beginning. So in the later feudal age, if I do not play very well, the opponent's team might try to pressure me, and I might have to defend. It's a bit map dependent, but for 1v1 that's probably my favorite strat. Fully upgraded archers with thumb ring, all the armors, pressuring the enemy early on. We are already transitioning here to siege. And if you want, we can just start booming or add more ranges and extra views to the gold to support those ranges. So that's the idea of playing with the Man-at-Arm opening. You pressure very much in the beginning and then you spend farms faster than you would spend with the other builds, because you are just leaving one archer range working, and for that you won't need like reviews on the gold. So less investments on the early dark age on the food and the wood and the gold, but more investments in the farms. And thanks to that you can go up faster and you can just harass your enemy, pressure him a lot. This is probably the best approach for 1v1. I'll start. Can I just go for 2 archer ranges after the Minotaur? You can, but the investment is huge and you might not have a great uptime after that, okay? So just take in mind that if you go for the second archer range, as fast as you go, the more you are delaying your farms, the more you are delaying your uptime. Right here, we can just follow up in any of the ways that we saw in the previous game. We can add 30C, keep the TCs working with 18 farms, and we can just choose to keep playing full Castle Age, or already go to the stone to try an Obsidian transition. So it's always up to you guys on how you want to play the game from this point on, okay? I hope you have enjoyed the build. My personal suggestion, master that one for 1v1 and you are going to have one of the strongest strategies ever. GG. Alright guys, let's put in practice here some of the openings and some of the builds that we were talking here to the Mayans. I already selected here the color 6 because I want to play as the flank, not as the pocket here, and I will be focusing here on making archers. And I will use the Drush and Archer build order. A very, very classic one. Enemies here are Huns, Vikings and Franks, so I'm either against Huns or against the Vikings. And I will be playing here with the Mayans. Let's see how this will go. I'm going to straight up follow the build, which will start with 6 views on food, 4 views on the wood, then I will get the first boar, I will go to the mill, I will get the second boar, make sure that I will have like 8 views eating the boar, other views on the berries, and that will be it. So the game just started here. I'm starting to scout here with my scout, already starting to eat the ship. All the 4 villagers are already selected to go here. I can already see my gold, and it will be very important to go for the archers. Mayans are very gold dependent. Most thieves are, but Mayans especially. They do not have like scouts to play on the early game. And there I am, exploring. I found a wood, I found some berries there. Six views now on the ship, they are already queuing up. I still have to find the boars, I still have to find the ship. There's a lot of information for me to get, and meanwhile I will just be starting to collect the wood. And I'm gonna start here by this wood, and then I will make a lumber camp in the other when I'm almost going to the shield. I want to put like 4 views on this wood and then go for the boar. I still like to find information about the boars and 2 extra ships. Oh right, I just know about this rhinoceros here, which is my hunt. I forgot to explore these small areas here. I'm just testing this ship to do that. The elephant's there, so I have like full information about my hunt right now. It's great. I'm gonna start eating here the 4th ship. And this next build will go there to bring me the elephant. Just found here the missing ship, which is great. There are some zebras, but I'm not gonna lure guys, I'm just going for the basics. And I'm going to attack my opponent. Since I have the eagle, there's a chance that I might kill his villager if he has no nuke. So if I find my opponent, and if I manage to, I will try to kill villagers that are alone and far from the TC. 80 villagers now on the boar, on the hunt. Gonna go there to the mill. I've already made like 2 houses. You can see that I already like to build in order to protect my eco. I like to build this way. It's a very good way of building. Now you will send this villager now to the mill as well. Oh, there we go. There are some views here, but he has the loom already, guys. The Hun already has the loom, so it's not great to just try to rat Zico now. He might just kill my eagle. Going out for the other boar. I'm about to have 4 views here on the berries. And the next villager I'm already going to send forward because it will make me a barracks. Making now the barracks. I have 12 views here on the food. I'm gonna get the gold with 1 view. This 1 villager, guys, will provide me extra 10 gold, and then I will have enough gold to make 3 militias, which I will use to pressure the Hun. Right after the barracks, maybe some more houses, huh? And all the other villagers here, I will just keep sending to the food until I have enough food to go up. Militias already going forward. Collecting the food. You can see that I have like way too much views collecting the boar, so what I'm gonna do is start collecting the sheep as well. And already task those villagers to, right after the boar, go for a sheep as well. 1 militia, 2 militia, about to have a 3rd one. I will just use this villager here to complete this wall. I'm making the wall like this, guys, so that I can take this wood protected from enemy arrows if he tries to attack me with archers or some similar unit. Already tasked those views here to another ship. Great. The militia are coming, it's 8 minutes and a half, and I'm almost ready to attack my opponent. That's a slower Drush, because I do the barracks after the meal, but it's just to buy some time. I do not want to change the word with this Drush. Now that I click it up, guys, I'm going to put 6 views in each wood. So I'm gonna put 6 views on this first wood, 6 on the other, attack with the Drush, and I'm already going to assign 4 views here to the gold. Whenever you attack an opponent with the Drush, if you get a single view like this, he cannot run from you. 1 view killed. I would also get like 2 views there to go for the wood. I'm killing more views, 0 trouble here. Poor guys are suffering, this guy is so screwed. And I'm only leaving, guys, 6 views on the food right now. I have only 4 on the berries, 2 on the ship. I'm just getting the basics here in order to go up. Oh my god, if I keep attacking this guy, he will resign. Well, blame the matchmaking. But I'm killing another view. Already gonna test my new views here to be born towards the gold. And as soon, guys, as I reach the feudal age, I want to make 2 archer ranges, okay? So there we go, I'm about to reach feudal age around 11 minutes, and I'm dropping 2 archery ranges. I'm also going to make the double bit axe, which is the upgrade for the wood, and the horse collar, which is the upgrade here for the farms to have extra food. After I finish these ranges, I will let 1 villager here just making buildings for me. And I will return the second one here to the wood and start making the farms. 6 views on the gold. Now I can already invest heavily into the farms. Making archers, investing into the farms. I'm just letting the villagers be born here around the stagglers and building farms. I want to keep building farms until I have at least 14 views, on the food. You see that I have a lot of views on the wood, and the reason is, guys, not only I invested here to make the archer ranges, but I also like to make a blacksmith, right, in order to upgrade the fletching, which will be my next building. Meanwhile, I'm messing up archers. I'm fighting against the Hun. Making new farms. So archers. They messed. My Drush is still there buying time for me. Giving trouble to my opponent. This villager will keep building houses, palisades and so on. Now that I have the blacksmith, I can upgrade the fletching. Still investing to the farms. If you want to feel safe, guys, in a game like this, from raidings from the pocket or so on, one thing that you can do is to add palisades, like I'm doing. So you can just keep making like houses, palisades, houses, palisades until you complete your walls. Meanwhile, around now 15 minutes, I'm about to have like 10 archers. I can even send like those 10 archers to attack other opponents. I'm gonna try to reach the pocket from the enemy team, which is the Frank, because of the color scheme. Oh my god, right now guys, I already have 14 views, so I will just keep like sending like a few more views to the gold. Messing archers. I'm adding more views because I want extra views to collect gold in order to go up to castle. I'll have like 9 here. And then I'm going to make the wheelbarrow. My berries are about to end, so I can just make a transition here to those views from the berries to farms. I will just keep like 1 view until he finishes the berry. If you want to invest already into a new lumber camp to be more efficient, do it, no problem, especially if you have spare resources. I'm almost finishing my walls, not stopping to make archers. My archers are going there to attack the enemy. Once I finish the wheelbarrow upgrade, guys, I can just keep sending views to the gold or send more views already to the wood. In this case, since I already have enough views on the gold to allow me to go castle, which is line to 10, 6 just to make the archers and the other spare to mess up resource, mess up gold for me to click up, I can just go and put the new villagers to the wood now because I won't need much more views on food than I already have. Meanwhile, I'm just massing a huge amount of archers. Enemy pocket seems to be adding a stable. Maybe he's planning to go for knights. If that's the case, I might have to retreat because I do not have enough power right now to fight him. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going back with 10 archers. I cannot just fight against his knights. But I'm finishing my walls, so I'm going to be safe from his archers. I'm already making houses here on the back of my walls to reinforce them. And soon I will be able to click up. Let me just collect this food back. And there we go, guys. I'm going up. So one of the downsides of this build is that you are hardly going to reach the castle age before 20 minutes, okay? This is not so likely to happen. But right here, in the way I'm playing, I'm very comfortable with my game. You can see that I'm already banking a huge amount of wood, which will allow me to go for ballistics, which will allow me to go for extra town centers. If you are playing a more intense game that you might need to force more army to survive, you can even think about adding more archer ranges here. But if you're just playing a game where you have the advantage or where 2 archer ranges will be enough, you can just focus more resources to the booming. I upgraded the gold. If I want, I can upgrade the armor from the archers. Once again, only if I want. Since I do not plan to join any melee fight here, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just making the houses for now. Improving my walls. I can already have a huge amount of archers here. Seems that I like to have a gate to go out of here. I'm going to improve this by making the gate. I already have around 30 archers by now, guys. I have like 28. As soon as I reach the castle age, I'll have 30. And with this amount of archers, I can pretty much micro against smaller groups of knights without any trouble. Upgrading the crossbow, upgrading the bodkin arrow, upgrading the wood upgrade, adding more views. I'm already going to drop here an university to make the ballistics. I can already drop more town centers, so I can add a town center here. I can add a second town center here. I like to add town centers close to the woods and, if possible, close to a stone as well, so I can start collecting stone. I just keep massing archers. I'm still keeping all these views on the gold, guys, because I want to make the ballistics, which is a bit more costly on the gold. The seeds are about to get made up. I will need 300 wood just to make the ballistics. I have a good amount of food bank, so my eco will just be able to keep going until I add more farms. Upgrading the ballistics, still making archers. Going out for the wood. Still making archers. I will keep those 9 views on the gold, guys, because then I will start messing up more gold that I'm actually using, and I can later use this gold to make upgrades to either Imperial Age or Obsidian arrows, so I'll just be fine. I'll still need a builder here, working rapidly. And now I'm gonna rush here to get 18 farms in order to keep my PCs working. Investing here into the farms. Right now I have 18 farms, so basically my 3 PCs are never going to get idle. And if I feel like I'm in a huge advantage as the Mayans, one thing that I can already do at this point is already go for the stones. Why took the stone? In order to make a castle as soon as possible. So I will just try to keep like 8 views here on the stone. All the other villagers are going now to get the wood, to get the trees. Every time I have spare wood like now, I will just keep investing here to farms. I can play like with only 2 ranges, or if I want to have really amazing numbers here, guys, one thing that I can do is to already start collecting more gold and try to add more archer ranges to increase the rate in which I am adding the crossbows. So sometimes in games you are going to see me playing with something like 4 archer ranges. I will just try to mimic it right now. In this situation I'm not needing, I just want to make the build to show how many archers you can actually get. I forgot, but since I'm ready on the stone, I should upgrade the stone mining as well to improve the rate which I'm collecting. And I will just keep like 2 town centers here on the wood and 1 town center already to another gold, because I will be needing, since I plan to spend a lot of units here. As soon as I finish this 3rd range, I'm also going to finish the 4th one. Making archers in 3 ranges. Now I'm going to start making archers in like 4 ranges. Since I'm using a lot of ranges here, guys, and I also have 3 TCs working, I will have something like 7 working buildings very soon, which will force me to add another view to make houses. So I will need like 2 views, constantly making houses, or else I will get houses. Remember, now that we have spare wood, what we're going to do, we are just going to add farms. A good number for you to aim whenever you are playing with an archer civ is 30 farms. So I will just keep making archers, and I will keep investing my resources here into Arbalests, into Crossbow, sorry. As soon as I manage to make the castle, I will be able to upgrade the Obsidian arrow. I'm even going to switch here and put more views on the gold, because I need already to start banking up to go to Imperial Age. I also need to start banking up to go for the Obsidian arrows. I finished collecting the stone. I can now drop a castle. I'll just drop a castle here in the entrance of my base to protect me, a very conservative castle. Going rapid for the gold, going for the wood. only a few farms are left until I have 30. Now I will have like 30 farms, which will be more than enough for me to reach the Castle Age. I'm past 80 views, so whenever I can just make the hand cards. A good time to do it. Meanwhile, look at the amount of archers I have. It's a huge amount. They do not have all the upgrades because the secret of an archer sieve, guys, is you need the range, so you need the bodkin arrow, but more important than the other upgrades is the number. If I had to fight against similar numbers, I would just add thumb ring, maybe the armor, but right here, I'm fine just by keeping my numbers. I finished building the houses that I need. I will now upgrade the Obsidian arrows if I feel like I can pressure my opponent on castle, or if I'm defensive and I just want to get Arbalests, I can just delay them. I'm now advancing with 60 archers. I'm still making more archers at home. You see why this strategy is good, because you just build up a huge amount of units here. Huge amount of archers, and now I'm gonna start melting the Huns buildings. I have Obsidian arrow, I still do not have thumb ring, which is not needed, and look how fast I can kill his TC. Let me just fill up some views, fill up some archers. I'm producing views, I'm producing archers, I'm close to population 200, and this guy is saying goodbye, because I can just melt his town center with this amount of archers. The others are resigning, and that's basically the Drush into archers. If you want to play strong on Castle Age, I invite you to add more archer ranges. In some situations, guys, I even add more ranges before start booming, because I'm under pressure and I need some army to survive the early Castle Age, so I will do it. Or else, I will just do this. Basically here, I can just harass everything from his eco, unless he can fight the army versus army, but fighting against my army will also not be an easy task, because I have like 60 archers here, I have like 23 more, so I'm getting closer and closer to 100 units from army, and I could just stop collecting eco here around 110 views to leave like 90 population space for my army. Or if I wanted to be more conservative, instead of going for the Obsidian and attacking, I could just have give priority to the Imperial Age up, and I could be already on my way to the Imperial Age very soon as well. So this was the Drush into Archers. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me just see a few statistics. Military count. Whenever you're playing the Mayans, whenever you're playing with an Archer Civ, you want to have the highest large army here. So 83 archers is a huge army. It's bigger than all of my opponent's armies combined. So that's what you want to achieve. Regarding the eco, I'm very intense here on gold and wood because of the investments that I have to make into the archer rangers, into the archers. Sometimes the guys that are going to have more food are the pockets, because they're probably going for builds with like 40 or 50 farms in order to go for paladins and so on. And regarding the technology, you can see that I reach feudal age around 11 minutes. It's not a bad time. And meanwhile, I have like 3 militias and the eagle already on my opponent's base, buying time for myself. So that's the secret of the build. You buy time with the Drush to get feudal with a very good economy that will allow to invest into fletching, archers, extra farms, because the archer strategy is very harsh on the eco. You have to invest a lot. And even without luring, even without doing anything special, I was still able to click up to castle before 22 minutes. One of the main issues that I see people doing on the archer builds is not to go up so fast. They usually goes up like 24, 25 minutes. That's mostly because of that the eco was not so great on the early feudal. They couldn't drop the farms, and they ended up hurting the eco. And I do not use it like 20 farms, and 14 views on the food was all that I need to do it. So this is what you want to achieve. I didn't click to Imperial Age because I gave priority to a more castle-oriented build, but I could have also reached Imperial Age around 30, 31 minutes. It's possible to do it. Society-wise, I was doing okay. Boom, I was past 100 views already. With 32, and that's because immediately after reaching the Castle Age, I dropped it immediately 2 town centers, and I didn't have not to make ballistics or I didn't have to sacrifice anything in order to do that. Okay, that was it. GG. Alright guys, let's record here game. I'm playing with the Mayans. Game just started. I will try to do either the archer, straight archer opening, or play with the Drush into Crossbowman. One of those two approaches I'm gonna try. For now, I'm just scouting, found extra ship. Everything seems to be fine. I see like no trouble at all. Got more sheep, so all the sheep are on the TC. I can see my gold, I can see the berries. This map looks very good. I think that with a map like this, surrounded by woods, with a very protected gold on my back, I can pretty much choose, guys, what approach I can actually do here. If I want to play with straight archers, if I want to play making somewhat of a fast castle, all are possibilities. I'm gonna start collecting wood. I'm scouting my back as well. Dropping my first lumber camp, going for the wood. I still haven't decided, guys, which opening I'm actually doing. I might take a look on my opponents to see how his map is. There we go, 4 views on the wood, 6 on the sheep. I guess, guys, that this time I'm going to play with the Drush and fast castle approach. This guy should go for the boar, huh? We already have 4 on the wood. To go for the Drush and the fast castle, one of the biggest requirements here is to have a map that you can defend. Having like a forward gold or very exposed woods might not be good for we to execute this strategy. But with the map that I have right here, I can pretty much execute anything I want. Managing to kill the boar, putting 8 views here to take it. I'm gonna start sending more views now to the berries. I'm even taking some time here to micro my views, to put 2 views inside. Build a mill, go inside. Build a mill, go inside. Meanwhile, I'm exploring. 3 views already on the berries. Right now, guys, I'm around 140 wood. I'm already going to send a view forward to make here a house, and maybe already drop the barracks for the Drush. So this villager is going to drop the house and later the barracks. I'm gonna take the second boar. I just found my opponent. He's playing with the Celts. Remember that I'm playing here using the Mayans, so I can harass his eco, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. If you take a look, I'm trying to kill his villagers. Since he has no loom, guys, I will probably be able to kill View. Well, I killed a View, but he's managing to wall my eagle. It was a very nice reaction for this guy. Dropping the barracks now. Collected 10 gold, and now I have 14 views in the gold. I'm dropping the barracks. Right after finishing the barracks, I will start making houses, and I'm going to send a second view to help me walling. Running from his scout, I will try to make a small trade here. Minimize the damage. I might not kill his scout, but at least I can minimize the amount of damage that I will take from mine. Now that I have 2 views walling, 51 to the wood, I eventually killed his scout, guys. My eagle just killed like his views and his scouts already, so Congrats to my eagle. Sending 3 militias forward. I'm gonna complete my walls here with those views. Collecting now the ship. Since I have access to deer, I'm going to put 4 views here on the deer. Maybe I should make a second lumber camp here. I'm gonna distribute my views on the wood. I'm going to have 2 lumber camps with 5 views on each one. Meanwhile, I'm finishing the wall, I'm sending forward the militias. The views are meanwhile just eating here the ship without any trouble. Good. Let me complete these walls. I'm very concerned about being walled in time. I'm new for these guys. I will just keep sending views now to the stagglers, and later when I have the resources, I'm actually just gonna... Oh, 1 HP eagle. This eagle just needs to take 1 hit and he will die. He's trying to quick wall. I'm just trying to deny his views from collecting resources. Taking up a fight now. I don't want to fully fight this guy. Just harassing him a bit is more than enough for me. Oh, he's actually trying to fight me, okay. Finishing the wall here. This is great. Let me drop farms. Remember guys that the goal here is to let 14 views on the food. With 5 farms, 4 hunters, and maybe 5 here on the berries, I will have enough to go to the castle age eventually. Just making militias. Let me put now the villagers that were on the stagglers to collect some wood. I'm losing a fight here to his militia. That's okay. At least I'm forcing him to stay base. I'm buying time. Killed 1 militia. Walking around. I'm fully walled. I have 10 villagers, 11 now on the wood. I have 1 extra view here. But since I have 14 villagers on the food, I'm not even concerned about my uptime. I'm pretty sure that I will be able to go up. Scout already has an archer range. Uh-oh, he's taking on my militia. Fighting versus his militia, I might even kill it. Uh-oh, he made a second one. Since he's scout, I can't outrun him. Now guys, comes the second part of the strategy, which is defending ourselves. So basically, what can I expect? I can expect this guy to attack me. So since I'm expecting to be attacked, what I'm gonna do is to build like I was making a second layer of walls. I won't be so fast here. I guess I didn't do the perfect Dark Age, but I made a very solid one. I was able to kill views, I was able to kill his scout, delay his attacks. Now I'm dropping my archer ranges, putting more views on the goals. So I think that I'm pretty much doing an okay job. I'm gonna make a second archer range right after finishing this, and a palisade gate. He's messing archers. I'm about to clicking up to the castle age because I had 14 views taking food, so there was like no chance of not being able to do it. Just a very good build. Upgrading now the horse collar. I'm going to start transitioning some of the views to the food here. Starting to make archers. I'll leave this villager just to build. This one would take here. Making archers. As soon as I have the wood, I'm gonna actually go for the lumber camp upgrade. I should even distribute a few more views to the wood to have like 12 on each one, which is what I'm gonna do right now. Messing archers. Making more houses. I have 12 views on the food, but my food sources are getting dry here. I will focus first on the military, guys. Since I will be already on the castle age, I believe that I will still be able to drop my TCs faster than my opponent. So there's no hurry in booming. He might be massing a bigger army right now, and I need to catch up on the army count. As soon as I join the castle age, I'm gonna give priority to upgrading the archers and also to upgrade the wood. Upgrading the wood is what makes your eco when you go for this strategy so good. Upgrading the Crossbowman. Still making archers. I will slowly proceed to make the upgrades here. Finishing my walls, making the fletching. Now that I have crossbows and I also have the fletching, I'm the only one on castle age around 80 minutes. A very solid eco. 10 views here, getting resources. I'm gonna start sending more views to the woods. And as soon as I can, I'm already going to start to go. Dropping extra TCs and so on. Dropping a TC here. Killed an archer, advancing. Killed another one, advancing. Upgrading the bodkin arrow. I can see a knight from the enemy. I'm pressuring this guy. Killing one view. He has no walls, no towers, so he's just walking on and killing him. He has no quality on his army to deal with this. He will be most dependent on the Frank to save him. Already gonna drop the second TC. It's not even 20 minutes and I'm already setting up my boom here while massing crossbows. Oh, please. Okay, good, I killed. Now that I have 2 TCs, let's make sure that I just keep adding farms. Now I'll have enough to keep those TCs working. This guy is very dead. Oh, his arm is here, huh? I'm attacking from the distance, I have the range advantage. 3 TCs booming while I pressure. Couldn't be better. A villager that I would just be able to pick off. Meanwhile, I just have to focus here on using all of my wood. Uh-oh, I might get trapped now because the enemy is coming here with knights. The combined power of their armies might be enough to kill me, so I'm trying to retreat. I'm gonna try to send reinforcements. I have to hurry up here to get around 18 farmers. If I actually manage to do that, it will mean that my eco will just be able to sustain itself. Just need a villager just to build houses. The crossbows are coming over. I'm still making crossbows. I'm booming 3 TCs. And right here, guys, I have all the power to decide if I'm just going to go for the Imperial Age, if I want to try to pressure with Obsidian arrows. I am the one in charge at this moment, and my decision is to start collecting stone. And I will work towards a transition here to fluent archers. Meanwhile, dropping a few more farms. I might need a second builder here. I'm gonna tell him to build outside here and get more map for myself. Upgrading. I don't even need ballistics, guys, because I'm fighting castle versus feudal. Uh-oh, there come the Franks here. Zero trouble for me. I'm on the hill. I have a lot of damage. I have knights tanking. That's a very easy fight. In the middle of the fight, guys, I have my town center selected by the hotkey, and I'm actually dropping more stuff. Making a university, making sure that I can still attack this guy. I just need a few more farms to go up. I need to get around 30 farmers. There we go. Uh-oh. My archers are not fitting the small spaces here. Now they fit. Making views, making ballistics, making more archers, sending the archers forward. This guy is dead. And I'm already thinking about the next steps here. I'm gonna put a lot of views on the gold. I need to go up. Upgrading that. I'm gonna go heavy for the stone here with a lot of views. I forgot to upgrade the gold, guys. A mistake here, for sure. But I'm pressuring here with the archers. I have a lot of views on the stone. My house builder is working hard. Getting wood. Getting stone. Getting wood. Might make another lumber camp. Now with ballistics, I can dominate the fight, I can give the calls. Celt is dead, guys. Let's go, player 3. That's the call. Whenever you have a huge advantage over somebody, you shouldn't be using your resources to kill this guy because he's already dead. What we should do is actually go to the next one, which is what I will try to coordinate here with my team to do. Meanwhile, house builder will start making houses on the other side. I'm gonna drop here a monastery in order to go up. Our ally on the other side might even need help, but I'm actually gonna focus on go to the pocket. I can already drop the castles. I would choose to drop a very defensive one first, if I need to defend. Finish at the monastery. Still collecting wood. Collecting wood. Going up. At this point, guys, I'm gonna start making crossbows. Those crossbows are more than enough to do what I need to do. Let me drop a market here to get information. Upgrade the stone. And I need to put a lot of use here on the wood, because plumed archers are very costly regarding the wood. So all the villagers are going to the wood. I dropped the first castle. My builder is just getting more map for me with the houses. You see, guys, that I start to get more map. Oh, fuck. I didn't saw that. Well, still no problem. This guy doesn't seem to have all the armors that he needs. He only has +1. Without +2, I can still get a fight versus him. Well, that was good. My army survived and I still get his knights. There we go, that's my castle. I'm making now plumes. I'm gonna get some of those views out from the stone and make a second castle here to protect this gold. I'm already making the transition here to plumed archers. I'll try to attack the player 3. Seems to be the strongest one on the other team. Seems like we are protected from the side. I'm trying to buy, to get more map here. Everything's going okay. Few more views to the gold. Few more views to the wood. Few more views to the wood. Maybe I might need a new lumber camp somewhere around here. I'm even going to delete those and I will start to develop towards the side. This will be mine. Oh! Oh my god, I just got past a bunch of views here. What a crap job, huh? Upgrading now the tumbling, upgrading now the bracer, upgrading now the conscription, upgrading now the chemistry. making the wood up, making up the meal up, and they are resigning, but I was just about to starting massing a lot of plumed archers, getting a castle over strategical hills, and upgrade the plumed archer right after the conscription up, to play now with plumed archers and siege runs. Well guys, that was it. Basically, Drush Fast Castle. If you have a good map that you can wall yourself, you can cause a lot of damage to an opponent before he's on Feudal Age, on the Dark Age. Use your Eagle to kill views, use your Militia to kill views, force him to make a bad eco like he had here. Then you just go for crossbows and you win because you have a better army, you have extra range, and meanwhile, while you are pressuring this guy with a better army, you are still booming. So I was already on the Imperial Age, dropping my third castle, making the transition to plumes. I could start a trap war if I wanted. I could just add siege run if I was not in a great position, but the game was just won in the castle age here. Regarding the map, you can see that I start developing, building more houses here. The idea of that is to get more map control on the other side as well. And there was this corner that I was planning to dominate. I could just add a stone wall here, another one, and I would be holding all that corner while defending it with the castles. The first castles I like to make more defensively. It's a more conservative choice. If my push fails, I still have how to reestablish myself. And later I try to get like all the hills. I will try to get this one, this one, this one in the middle. I would just try to keep collecting stone and controlling all those hills. And I would mostly not add more views. I would try to play with like 110 views and 90 army, for example. When I play with archership, that's how I like to do it. Taking a look on the statistics, 0 points, that's sad. Technology-wise, I advanced here with 70 minutes to the Castle Age. There was a Briton with a 50-minute up, a very fast up. Not sure about his eco though, because I was able to boom, develop a lot, make the most military. Well, we didn't make much, huh? We were trading a lot of units. But I was still able to reach Imperial Age within 32 minutes, which is a very considerable mark. So that was the strategy of Drush and Fast Castle for the Mayans, applied in a in-game situation. Alright guys, I'm here trying to play a game here with Mayans. We picked civs, but we're using Brandon. Let's see what we're going to actually play. I want to play some flank as Mayans to show you guys the builds. Game's about to start. This time I will try to play with men-at-arms and archers, a different build. This one I truly like to use in 1v1, and I'm going to explain you the in-depth details of this build. So basically, what is the idea here? I want to go for archers, of course, I'm Mayan, but I also want to open with men-at-arms to put some pressure over my enemy. The men-at-arms are a huge investment. You have to make barracks, you have to make mining camp very early on. Uh-oh, it seems that I'm getting lammed here. Oh my god, I'm getting lammed hard by this guy, huh? He's already here to steal my resources, okay. I hope he can't, because else I'm going to be in a more complicated situation. I will finish to scout the front of my base. Whenever I see the scout so close like that one, I already return the ships and decide to scout only with the eagles. My priority here is to see if I have any resource in the front like a boar or some other thing like this, because if I do, I might be forced to take those resources fast to deny my opponent the chance of landing them. It seems that he will be playing with the Portuguese. There are some deers in front. It's important to know where the deers are as well, because if he steals my boar, if he puts me in a hard situation where I cannot use the food, I might have to do it. My goal is kind of the back, because kind of in the back. I'm adding views now to the wood. I have 6 on food. I'm gonna put 4 on the wood. And the build order that I will try to execute, guys, is the population 23 into men-at-arms and archers. The idea here is to open with the men-at-arms. The biggest secret on the men-at-arms gameplay is that you must have a barracks dome. By the moment you click, go up to feudal, so that you can already start making the men-at-arms as quick as possible. Oh my god, I do not see any boar. Now I see one, and I'm going there to take it. I just found more sheep, which is great. I was so concerned about the boar, guys, that I even made a small mistake here in the build. I put like a 50 view on the wood, but I'm already correcting it. Now I'm back to 4 views in the wood. This builder will go to the wood. I'm bringing the boar to the TC, and despite the early lambing attempt here, I'm fine with all the resources on the TC. The only thing that this guy got with his forward scout was information, which I also have, because I'm Mayan, and I saw his scout. So there we go, I have now 8 hunters, 2 views in the meal. I'm going to put a few more. The idea, guys, is that I need to start making the men-at-arms by the moment that I click the feudal age, the militia. So in order that I have 3 militias already on my opponent's base by the time I actually reach feudal age, so that I can pressure him. If I find a villager, I can try to kill it. I'm making now a house forward. I will send 1 view to the gold, and I plan to drop a barrack soon. If I want to go for the Drush, or I can just wait. What the fuck was this? Actually, I'm not going to drop the barracks right now. I'm just going to focus on the boar. This guy is making me confused. I don't know if he was trying to warn me or something. I'm very confused by this guy. But anyway, right now, guys, I have a lot of views here already. Collecting food. I'm gonna send a view forward to make a barracks. I'm attacking his villager because he has no loom, and there's a chance that I can even kill a view. I killed a view, guys. The eagles are villager killers if your opponent has no loom. You can just choose a view, pick one and kill it. And I did it. Now dropping the barracks. And now I'm gonna send 2 extra views to the gold. As soon as I finish this boar, I want my views to focus here on taking on the other ship. If this guy leaves a villager alone, I'll try to kill it. You can bet on that. His meal is on the back, his wood as well, his gold's there. I'm sending here the view. I want to have like enough views here. Can I go up? I click it up. Population 23. This guy's trying to wall. I'm starting to make the militia. And since I have 2 views collecting gold, guys, I will have enough gold to upgrade the men-at-arms as soon as I reach the feudal age, which is the part of the secret of this strategy to work. I'm already sending the militia forward here, making now the 3rd one. I now have to fix my eco in order to go for the archers. And how do I do that? Well, basically I need to put something like 7 to 8 views on the wood. Let me put 8 views here on the wood. There we go, 8 views on the wood. The others are just finishing to take the ship. One of the opponents is already on the... Whoa, already on the feudal, the Lithuanian. And he might attack me at any time. I'm not dropping farms for now, guys. I'm actually saving wood because I like to drop immediately, an archer range whenever I go to the strategy. I'm sending my militias here, but they are going towards the TC, so I might have to go around in order to do some damage. Already going to put a 3rd view on the gold. Drop an archer range as fast as I can. Wood upgrade. Man-at-arm upgrade. Now that I have these, I can start thinking about the farms. Since I do not have so much food, I will start by dropping like 4 farms even without the horse collar. The priority here is to have the food sources working. I'm already messing up archers at home. Let me make a house. Yeah, I couldn't attack this guy. He's defending himself. I'm eating the stagglers. I will just keep like 10 views now on the wood. There we go, 10 views on the wood. If I want to be very aggressive, I can already drop a blacksmith here. But I don't know if I want to. I do not see any clear target for me to attack. I'm forcing this guy to repair his mill rapidly. I'm gonna leave a villager here just to make houses. Upgrade now the horse collar. And start to spend farms. So that's the big point of this strategy. You have the early aggression, and then you can just spend a lot of farms. Since I only have one range right now, guys, what I'm actually focusing at is to start some archers. I'm gonna send them here to try to get this gold. I'm not even gonna upgrade the fletching because I have like no intention of directly hitting a villager. I do not think that I will be able to directly hit a vill, given the situation. Just walling, attacking. 3 villagers are more than enough to keep up the production here of an archer range. Now I have already 14 views on the food, believe it or not. And I'm going towards the gold. I might be forced to make a spearman maybe. Uh-oh, he's targeting my vill. He has more scouts coming, this is bad. I will be forced to make some quick wall, some other. This was not good. I'm still pressuring, I'm still trying to force this guy out of his comfort zone with my spearman. Now I can just finish to all my gold, defend this area, adding another farm. I have the spearman defending myself. I should have completed those walls before. I might become a target once again. I'll send these guys forward to complete my wall here with a blacksmith now. Meanwhile, okay, I was able to force this guy to make a tower, so this is already some damage, guys. I have now a lot of views on the gold. I can even manage to go to Castle Age if I want to. I will, for now, just pressure this guy. Try to put some archers behind of his wood. I can already add the second archer range. So basically, I knew that I didn't need the fletching, so I didn't even make the blacksmith. Just focused on getting the farms. Now that I got the farms, I made another upgrade. I might be forced to make some transition here. Uh-oh. Whoa, my ally is bringing his scouts to my TC. So I'm just gonna be able to kill the scouts, that's great. Now that I have enough views on the gold, I actually need more. I'll just start mass archers. I will leave the spearman on the back. I will leave the archer in the front. I'm already harassing this guy. This guy is equal because of my early attack. I finished eating the woods, the berries, sorry. But since I'm almost going up, I won't be focusing here, guys, on going for more farms. Those are more than enough because I have banked up all the resources, and that's one of the big points of this strategy. Since I can delay the investment into the second, the second archer range, I might be forced to fight here, not to lose way too much kills. Oh, it was actually okay. He's now placing a TC, my opponent. My army is walking away. I can keep just 2 ranges for now, or I can add another one. I guess I would just keep 2 ranges. I'm finishing to wall. I'm massing more archers. The enemy pocket, guys, is still the enemy pocket is still futile. I'm upgrading now the fletching. Only now I truly want to go and get some attacks going on. I'm thinking already about dropping a 3rd archer range. I guess that's exactly what I'm going to do. I want to truly mass up army on castle, so 3 ranges might be a good way to go. I'm also gonna drop a market here to get information about my allies, about what they are doing, about the whereabouts of the enemies. Oh! You see? This guy tried to stop me here with the scouts, but he just couldn't. What the fuck? He has now upgrades on his scouts. Oh my god, look at this. A Drush. A Drush from red is coming on my back. My allies are truly not dealing with this trouble. Huh? Gonna upgrade now the archer. Trying to save the view. There we go, view save it. I'm gonna drop a university. Lithuania is now on Castle Age, guys. This might mean that I might have to fight against the Yellow Knights. Whoa, Scorpions? Yeah, fighting Scorpions is not great. They are good defensive too. I'm just going to mass my archers, making the wood up. I'm getting more wood. I'm gonna put another view here, guys, on the gold because I might need more gold when I start to upgrade the ballistics. I'm messing up a huge amount of archers now. I'm becoming more deadly, more lethal. Uh-oh. Had to run again from the scorpion. Don't want to waste archers, and killing the scorpions won't give me a huge benefit. There we go, 26 army already, 26 archers. I will just start massing archers in the back of my base. Cancelling this archer for now just to quick. No, it doesn't even need to cancel. I can already upgrade the ballistics. Now that I upgrade the ballistics, what are we going to do? We're going to start booming. So I'm going to slowly drop on the TCs since I'm focusing more on the army. My ally seems to be attacking on the other side, and the strongest opponent seems to be the Lithuanian, and I feel confident enough to attack the Lithuanian. Oh, Stark, but he has knights, and knights can kill archers. You were right, but the archers, the secret on having archers is to have the numbers, and I feel like I have enough numbers to take the risk myself. This guy is not gonna be waiting for me with like 50 knights on his base, so there's a good chance that I can get some good offense on him just by going now. I will leave these views on the wood. I'm gonna make another farm so I have 12. 12 farms can support UTCs. Uh-oh, I just see what's probably the enemy, huh? Yes, look at this. I will try to aim on the farmers. Good. I'm getting this guy. I'm gonna make now another TC. I'm already thinking about switching strong here for the oh great, man, look at this. He's trying to fight me, but since I have numbers, guys, look how easily I can counter his knights. And since the archers have range, I can just hurt his economy a lot. Look the amount of farms that this guy has that are not working here. I will just ask my archers to politely kill his farms, deny him any access to those resources, keep making archers. Now I have 3 TCs. I just need a few more farms. More knights are trying to defend. More knights are failing to defend. This guy is never gonna take me away because he's just getting less and less knights available, and with this huge amount of army and with the fast up, I can pretty much pressure a lot. And that's the GG. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I have. I enjoyed a bit. Not too much. Just a bit. Huge amount of archers, good uptime, early pressure. This guy had to defend himself and he was never able to come back. Now he was trying to come back with some archers and knights, but was never allowed to do so. Crossbowman here from Ethiopian. Pressuring on the other side, my pocket booming, but I don't care about that so much. Let me take a look here on the statistics. Military-wise, guys, look the amount of army. That's the key when you're playing with archers. Numbers. You need to have numbers. You need to have numbers to attack. The only part of the game where you are actually risking having few archers attacking is on the beginning, and you know that you were risking losing those archers. Then you are just going to mass and mass and mass and mass. Sometimes I even delay my booming like I did this time, just in order to truly mass the archers and have enough strength to attack my opponents. Regarding the eco, I'm rarely rely on wood and gold because of my army composition, and eventually every pocket will have more food collected. Technology-wise, the key of this strat is that I was able to just drop my range at like 10 minutes. When you go for Drush and archers, you usually drop your ranges around 11, and around 10 minutes I already was attacking my opponent with men-at-arms, forcing him to make walls, forcing him to idle villagers, forcing him to repair, he even made a tower, so that's the key. My uptime, guys, was a bit delayed because I was forced to make spearmen, and I was going not so rapidly for the farming. I only did like 11 farms, and I still was able to join Castle Age with a good amount of archers before 21 minutes. So the key of this strategy of starting with one range is that if you execute it well, and even if you lure sometimes some deer, you might just go even below 20 minutes to Castle Age, because you were first developing the eco to later mass archer. It's different from the regular archer start, where you just start massing archers. You start with like 6 view on the gold. You need to use a lot of wood in the very beginning of the feudal age to already drop like 2 ranges. I just win like 3 farms, guys, by not dropping this range. So instead of having like 6 view on gold, I only have 3. And instead of just starting the farms later on, I start very early on. So this is the secret. On the booming, I was behind, even again behind versus my flank. But does it matter? With this amount of army, I could just harass his allies if he defended himself, enough to win the game. And whenever you're playing maps like Arabia, army number on army count sometimes is even more important than view count. In the beginning, of course. If the game is balanced, and you are not able to transform those numbers as an advantage, then it's a failure. But that was the strat. GG. Alright guys, I'm trying to play a bit with the Mayans once again. We are playing now MegaRandom. So the starts might be very different from the usual ones depending on the map. But we're just going to try to base ourselves in some build and play the best of the map. So MegaRandom, I'm playing Mayans, I'm flank, and I have to study the map, I have to scout, I have to get information in order to see which is the best approach for me. I don't know which one will be. Game has started, it's oh my god, it's a 2TC start. It's a 2TC start. I'm already housed, I didn't realize that. I will try to put a lot of views on the food. Whenever I'm playing, guys, this kind of map, my first reflex here is to try to put a lot of views on the food. I'm already idling the TC because I'm Mayan, but I have to think that I have like 2 extra views because I started with 2 TCs, and that's how the algorithm works. Once I have 6 views in each TC, I will start thinking more about what I'm gonna do with the views to distribute them. Alright, right now guys I have 12 views on food. Just by keeping those views, I might have a good chance of not idling my TCs again, which is great. I'm gonna make another house, just trying to avoid getting idle. Nails are a good seed for this kind of setting because I start with 2 extra views. The biggest challenge when you are playing those maps is to get your eco working properly in the beginning of the game. The first step, as I said, is to put a lot of views on the food. I'm now starting to collect berries. Did a meal that will allow me to collect 2 berries, which is great. I'm not collecting food yet. I see no boars for now. I'll try to move those guys to the deers. I will use this TC to collect wood. This other TC still has some sheep on it, which is great. I'm exploring with the 2 eagles. I still have a good amount of views in the food, but some of them are not dropping the food. I got houses, guys. I would just work here to get the house as fast as possible. And I'm even considering making already a meal here for those villagers on the hunt to drop the food on. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'll keep sending those guys to the food. I'm constantly looking at my TCs, trying to make sure I will not get the TCs idle. And if I actually manage to do so, I will probably be ahead economically speaking compared to my opponents. I'm even going to put the TCs on a hotkey here to just keep spamming the hotkey and getting the views. Seems not. This guy was asking if there's more. Oh, there's more sheep here. This is great, huh? I'm only surviving with the stagglers, guys. I focused here on making meals. On these maps, that's how I like to play. I'll finally drop here my lumber camp. Not before tasking those guys to eating the sheep. Going hard for the berries, going hard here for the deers. Only now going for the wood. Trying to keep the control of the houses here. I can already search for some opponents, I'm doing fine. Some scouts is getting to me. I'll try to drop a meal here. I'm already thinking about going for those berries now. I'm trying to use all the food resources that I have. I will start using wood on this CC and food on this one. I already have a lumber camp which will allow me to make a lot, to get a lot of wood. Huh. This guy tried to attack me with the Magyars. Those Magyar scouts, once these guys up, are going to be very annoying. Clicking up with this C. Whoa. Magyars trying to wall. I guess I need to start collecting gold if I want to go up. That's what I'm doing. There we go, collecting gold, rapidly. I need 12 villagers, guys, just in order to keep my TCs running, and I think that I have those views, so I won't have trouble with that. But I might have a trouble here with enough food to go up to the castle. So I'm already thinking about what food sources I can use. I'll keep those guys on the wood. 4 views is more than enough to give me the amount of gold that I need. These guys have just finished the deers, so I'm thinking about running with them in order to get the berries. Magyar is already on feudal. This will become a problem because this guy can just make some scouts. His scouts now gain extra attack, and they are twice the problem that they would be without the upgrades. Get your new mill. I need more wood, or else I won't be able to make the market. I'm already going to quill up more views to wood. Going to quill up more views here to the wood as well. I need a house. I will get housed. Let me cancel those views to make the house. 2 TC starts are very complicated, honestly. As soon as I can, guys, I'm going to drop here a market and a blacksmith. Uh-oh, I'm getting attacked bravely here by the Magyar. I'm trying to run, use the views here. I was able to kill one scout. My eagles are coming here to defend me. Good. Upgrading the wood already, upgrading the mill so I can make farms, finishing these. Yeah, I guess I'll be fine, guys. I'm about to click up. Clicking up here. Now I'm already going to the castle age. Some guys are still on dark. I'm pretty sure that I'm ahead on the view count. I'm pretty sure. Collecting gold. I have a huge food bank. Not stopping to make views. I have like 0 farms until now. I should be thinking about getting farms. There is no way of playing this without testing a villager already to make like a lot of houses for myself. It just won't work if I do not do that. Since I have a huge food bank, guys, I'm not going to give priority to the farms now. I'm still eating those berries, so I will give actually priority to make houses. And I will also give priority to making more TCs to boost up my boom. And I feel like this might be a good game to play with the full boom. And try to play with plumed archers or eagles. Giving their sieves, I don't know which one might be better. I have more than 50 views, so I'm already going to make the wheelbarrow. These berries are about to end. I'm going to drop a TC here. Uh-oh. Magyar's going scouts, guys. This is bad, huh? I might have some problems here with the ratings from the Magyar. I'm just trying to improvise some walls here. Dropping new TCs. Dropping new TCs. Buying stone and dropping new TCs. I want to defend from the scouts only using TCs. Fuck, he got me making the TC. That was the worst scenario, man. I was expecting this guy to get me on the gold. He got me on the TC. Ouch, that's hurting a lot. Well, he won't be able to hit the other views. They are all protected, but I'm losing a few here, which is terrible. I guess I'll have to make farms. Upgrading now that, upgrading the wood. I only have those exposed views. Yeah, this guy is not going to land any other attack. And right now I'm gonna rush in order to try and get a huge amount of farms. Oh, motherfucker, even to the farms. Very fast move. There, go there, go there. I guess, guys, I'm going to play with Eagle Warriors. The reason is I believe that I will be able to go for Eagles faster to Eagles than anyone else to other kind of armies. I'm just transitioning here. I need at least 24 views on food to keep all of my TCs working. For now, I'm just transitioning here from the berries to farms, and I'm actually managing to do that. A 50 TC might be an overreaction. I was trying to do it more in order to protect the views from the ratings. I couldn't full wall, I had too much things to focus. I felt like I would even get behind on the kill count by walling and buy some food just in order to get my boom more smoothly, survive those ages. Magyar still on feudal, and I'm auto-booming him heavily because despite losing like 2 or 3 views, I already made more than 10 views with the extra TCs that I have. So I already have a huge advantage over the Magyar. I don't know how he's going to react. By the time he's on Castle Age, I will be already dropping castles to defend myself. And that's basically it. My house builder is still building houses, of course. I like to build the houses like this in order to defend myself, guys. I'm gonna drop now a monastery here. More than one, probably. A few monks can help me because he might try to raid me with knights. His only way of bashing my ego is trying a strong raid with knights. I don't think he's actually gonna do it. Or at least I do not believe that he's gonna succeed when trying to do that. I'm already removing some views from the stone. I will just keep a minimum here. Focusing here on getting farmers. I just need to get a castle up and I can go to the next stage. I want to have something like 4 monks. Focusing already on the gold. Upgrading handcart. I have a huge number of farms. With this amount of farms, I can upgrade the elite eagle without any trouble. Only now this guy's on castle, and I'm already out-booming him. So unless you can truly raid and give damage to your opponents, guys, those multiple TCs maps will always favor the ones that are booming. Sending the monks here. He's not attacking me, he's not doing anything. He's actually just chasing yellow. And I'm about to already click up to the next stage. I'm gonna let this town center here. I'm gonna sell some food to go up. Clicking up. TC on gold. TC on gold. Another TC on gold. I'm gonna get like 2 views here to start making the barracks. 1 here to make an outpost for me. What's this? Just a scout. I have a good amount of monks. I'm gonna to upgrade Santicity to give them extra HP. I'm gonna make a second blacksmith. Oh, Britain's coming, huh? Just in time I made this. Maybe I don't even manage to finish my barracks. I'm already starting new barracks on the back. Yeah, there's a good chance I don't finish those barracks. Ouch. Well, I finished 1. I'm going back. There's a castle here, so this guy won't be able to actually do too much. Oh no, those knights are from my ally. But he's not doing a great job. I thought that they were enemy. I do not need to make any more views. I'm upgrading my eagles in both barracks. Upgrading Eagle Warrior. Let me move those views from here. He wants to target them. He might try to get my... Oh, what the fuck, no. I was actually getting attacked here in the back. I'm getting attacked into multiple sides, man. Am I worried? No, I'm not. You can go back to this wood already. My god, what a harsh fight. No, they can't. My ally managed to fail killing the archers, man. With that amount of knights, huh? Well, it requires some effort to fail. Upgrading the eagles, upgrading their speed, upgrading their armor. Coming here to convert knights. I hope I can convert more knights. Oh my god, really? 1? I converted a few knights. Making eagles, gonna make El Dorado. Uh-oh. He's going there. I'm sending the eagles. I can send all the new eagles forward, making finally El Dorado, which is a must upgrade for me. Already gonna upgrade guilds, because once you finish, guys, all the upgrades for the Mayans, the only use that you are actually gonna have. And I converted the knights that had more HP, so I'm actually doing some good job here. Ah, run! Now that I have the eagles, what I can do is to just choose someone and raid. I'm going to raid the Briton because it's the strongest guy on the other side. My priority is always to try to get a stronger opponent and take him down. In a team game, that's a good way of doing. If you try to kill a guy that is already behind, you are just wasting your forces in what is not the hugest threat for your team. Defending my ally with the eagles, trying to attack. He's trying to wall himself, but I have already El Dorado, I can resist that. I can already start selling the resources. I need 6 more houses, not to get popped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Of course, I will already sell my views to make more houses. Imagine that I lose a castle, I'm gonna get houses, right? I don't want this to happen. I'm trying to raid those guys. Already gonna sell all the excellent food. Drop a few more new trebuchets. Yellow is also Imperial Age, and I have to raid these guys. Magyar is the last problem that I have here. I need to crack open the green guy to kill him. Look at these, that's a perfect way of cracking him open. Oh, he's attempting a castle there. Well, we just found our target. He's trying to go for Arbalests here. He will never do it. Look at how many arrows he needs to kill me. El Dorado Eagles, man, are almost as annoying as Crossbow. He's trying to defend the front of his base. Well, I don't need to tell you. You know that's not gonna happen. I'm selling all the excellent resources. All my focus here is on getting gold. Oh my god, I forgot the gold upgrade. That's the reason why my gold is not good. Those multiple TCs maps are terrible, but right now, just with the ratings, I can just finish like all those guys. And honestly, given how the situation is, I can even kill all by myself if I want to. Oh, Magyar's doing some good efforts here to wall, huh? I'm just gonna push him to fight me. Eagles are way more cost effective than knights. Knights can fight them back, it's probably the best answer that you have, but I'm going to win eventually with the extra economy that I have. He's trying to defend with the archers, he's trying to micro Reveille, but once I just land my eagles on his army, he's just gonna die. Magyar's trying to fight me and he's failing. I'm popped. In the other side, blue is just losing a lot of views and he's not being able to properly defend. Magyar resigned. Briton is the next one to resign. He's losing castles, he's getting raided. The best thing he can do is try to micro Arbalests, but he can't. Once you get this unit raiding, man, there's no answer, there's no proper answer to that. If you have some horses, you can run after them, but if you fight them, they are not going to be so cost effective. They are eventually going to idle all of your eco. Yahoo is saying, Jesus, that was a lot to do. It was, man, it was. It's very, very hard to play multiple TC maps. But honestly, give all the focus to the first views you have in order to get food. Your first goal is to try to keep both TCs working, and to do that you want to have 6 views getting food for each town center, so 12 views on the food in total. Then you need to start worrying about these food sources. So my suggestion is to start collecting deers or maybe berries. Focus first on the food. Just eat the stagglers if you need some wood in the beginning. Pay attention to the houses. It's very common to get houses since you have like QTC is making. So every 1.5 minutes you are going to get housed if you do not make houses. It's very harsh to play. Anyway, if you take a look here on the statistics, I still managed to do a good uptime. I was not only fast in the Magyar, because he went for a 9 minute, but I did a 14 minute fast castle. So in this map, it's not so easy to actually do damage on Feudal Age. Since you are just going feudal with more than 40 views, man, it's very easy to just click up right after you go to the castle, because you can just keep more than 20, 30 or 30 views on the food. So on TTC maps, that's my recommendation. And on maps like that are more oriented to Castle and Imperial Age, massing archers might not be a good idea, because by the time you finish to measure your army, your opponent with knights will already have a huge eco to already counter them with power, which is what happened to the Briton. He was trying to play good, but he couldn't just have he was not using a power unit. I would rather just boom in his place than try to go archers like he did. 25 minutes Imperial Age. More society, more economy, and GG. Alright guys, I'm playing here as the Mayans. I will try to make a very intense game here using them. So let's go. I'm flank, I'm Mayan, and I will try to use the population 23 archers to open. A very basic one, not going to do anything out of this world, okay? But then we're just going to try and play according to the situation. We might play full army, we might play just trying to reach the Imperial Age, we might do any of the transitions that we saw in the build orders of this guide. Starting here with the ship. I'm gonna scout here the front of my base with the scout, the back of the ship, to minimize his chances of getting limit. The gold's forward, so might be a good idea for me to even wall this area here on the Dark Age to make sure that my gold will not be attacked by a Drush, by men-at-arms or by anything. So I'm even considering already having my next villager as a waller. And actually that's what I'm gonna do. My next build will be the official waller. I found all the ship. I'm just scouting the back now. And since it's a team game, guys, a good advice here is that you can start to wall, from the edge of the map to the middle to protect yourself. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I will start by walling this forest. Once again, from the edge of the map to the middle of it. The idea of these walls is just to allow me to have a feudal age with less surprises, okay? I do not want to let my opponents out of my base all this time. I do not have this pretension. I'm eating the third ship, building up the lumber camp. I'm gonna scout my opponent, and he might be either Britons or Ethiopians. And since he is not Chinese for sure, it means that in most cases this guy might not have the loom. So what am I going to try to do? I'm going to try to use my military advantage of having one eagle scout to try and harass some views. I'm against the Briton. I just found him. Eating now the fourth ship, so I can already make a case to go for the elephant. Might be a good time to drop already a house. Taking on the elephant, 4 villagers in the wood. Killing the elephant. We have 8 hunters. Oh, we just found a ship here. Good. He probably has only 1 view on the berries now, only 2. And those 2 cannot communicate so well. We are attacking the first view. This guy is forcing the views back to the TC. So we just lost a few HP on the eagle, and we still managed to give him some hits. We still managed to hurt this guy. Let's attack the second view. No, now he has more, and he's aware. He's even sending the scout. We are going out. Since we didn't lose too much HP, guys, this means that I can pretty much just fight his scout if I want to, and I can still win because I have more HP and more attack. So he cannot fight me back. I can just keep harassing his eco. I'm putting 4 views now on the mill, going for the rhino. I will still fight his scout as much as he wants me to. And I'm protecting myself, you see? Wall the edge, walling now the front of gold. I'm making a perimeter around my gold. 4 views already on the berries, that's fine. Let me find where his gold is. He's now eating the second rhino. I'm about to start eating the rhino as well. I do not have 14 views on the food yet, but I'm about to have. There we go. With this view, I'll have 14 on the... The ship that I stole is there just collecting information for me. I'm gonna send the views down to the wood until I have around population 23. And since I started to wall very early on, guys, I already walled the right side. I already walled the front of the gold. I can just wall this towards my pocket and we are going to be safe. So walling early on is actually very good. I have now 6 views on the wood. I'm gonna start collecting the other wood. I'm not taking the woods in the front. Maybe I can take this one now on the feudal. Might be okay, might not be so risky to do it. Can I go up? What? I can't go up? Of course I can go up. Yeah, okay. I guess I will just keep walling with this villager. I'll keep 6 views in each wood line here. The 3 views on the gold. Maybe I can start with only 2 in order to make the barracks. Distributing the views on the woods. Making walls. Distributing the views. Starting up with the barracks. Oh, he walled the eagle. I was so focused on my own base that I got my eagle walled, man. You shouldn't sleep with the eagle. Huh? That's fine. When I get to the end of this wall, I'm actually going to add here a house. And once I finish walling this area, I will be pretty much walled together with my pocket. The next 3 views will go here to the gold. You guys know why. To allow me to be able to make archers. Making here the first archer range. Making the wood upgrade. Making vils. As soon as I have the wood, I will order those guys to make the second one. It has to be very fast, not to allow him to go inside. I'm gonna make yet another house and keep walling. Still using the ship. Starting here the archers. His scout, guys, is hurt. So not only I managed to screw up his Dark Age, but this villager can also tank the damage from that the scout. I do not fear that they are not going to be able to do it. But now we have 6 views on the gold, we can just keep making archers. Send in the next views here to the ship. Upgrade horse collar. I might think about making another house here before. Good, very good. Making now the farms. I'm giving my pocket information about my opponent. I'm going to drop already a blacksmith, guys. And take a look on this. It seems, guys, that we are going to be fully walled. It truly seems that we are going to be fully walled. I can even make a case to minimize the number of views on the wood here. Instead of playing with 12, I can only play with maybe 11 or maybe even 10. This guy has to keep building. I will keep reinforcing my walls. I'll keep making the archers. Keep making the farms. Upgrading all the pletching. Can send the archers forward and fight. Note that I waited for the fletching to attack, guys. With this amount of archers, I can deny him from walling in the back, that like he's trying to do. Oh, he's trying to attack me with archers, but I have the fletching and he doesn't. Look at this. Since he don't have the fletching, by now, I can just pressure him big time. I'm gonna crack this guy open. Without much trouble. Already sending more archers forward. Our house builder is working bravely here. One of the guys from my team is connected. And we are killing orange. She's dead. Even with one guy disconnected, we can still win this game. I'm adding more farms. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna put those extra views on the gold, so that we have extra views to bank up gold for us to go to the next stage. This guy seems to be dead to me. We are already going to the next player. We already killed the army from this guy, and we can move to the next one. We have 10 views here. Have a lot of crossbows, making more houses. Remember what I said, guys, about making the transition here to more archer ranges if you want to play all-in with archers. I guess that this might be the case. Let me just fix the resources here around my TC. I have 14 views on the wood. Transitioning here to some extra farms. 14 views on the gold, 14 farmers. This guy is trying to pressure hard here with the scouts. That's huge. But we have more archers and I'm sending the archers forward. My pocket's doing a lot of scouts. Good. This guy has the upgrades. I guess we can even play more defensively. Uh-oh. They're fighting. I'm trying to out-micro his scouts. Clicking up. Now that I climb, I'm gonna focus on the archers. Ouch. Uh-oh. Well, he has no fletching. This guy could have won the fight easily, but he has no fletching. My arm is going back. I can make a case here for the full aggressive opening, so let's go for a few extra views here. I'm going to delay my town center, guys, because I want to play very aggressive here regarding the army. We are playing 3 versus 4, but I still think that we have good chances. Frank is going to the Castle Age, Kamir's probably not. I'll have 12 views here, which can help me to make the upgrades and still be on the game. I'm investing here into extra lumber camps, investing into the army, investing into the gold up. I might have some trouble regarding the wood. I might be forced to send my next views to the wood. I'm completely walled on this side. My only weak spot here is on the back. I do not fear his scouts at all. I know that he has some good amount of scouts, but I cannot get scared from that. Making up some wall. Upgrading now the crossbow, upgrading now the bodkin arrow, upgrading now the wood. As soon as I can, because I can't right now, I'm going to upgrade more stuff. Well, let me try to harass this wood. I guess we need to attack the other side, man. Yellow seems to be playing very strong out there. I'm starting to get a bit scared. I feel like we should attack the Khmer before he starts making elephants. Uh-oh, now he can make the elephants. I'm focusing more on the wood. My ally seems to be seeking for help. We might just lose this game, guys, but at least we're showing off some play here with 4 ranges, a very aggressive one. I can even remove some deals here from the food now to the wood, tip like only 8, because I already banked up a lot of resources. He's messing up elephants, huh? I'm gonna move out. Just keep messing the archers here. I can even make a case to go ready for the stone already, to go for the obsidian. Huh? What the fuck? I scout inside, I don't like this. Uh-oh, we forgot about our house builders. I will try to attack the engine. Which seems to be the strongest guy in the other team. Upgrading now, Tumbling. Still advancing over the engine now. Managing to kill a few views. Cannot get views, so I will just get farms. Let me leave and try to attack the other guy. Uh-oh! I got trapped, guys. Uh-oh. Ah! I can hide myself and try to minimize my damage, but since those are elephants, they can just attack in area and still harass me very good. Yeah, that's bad. No problem. I'm going back to the food here. It seems that my allies are dead. This is not great. Making more archer ranges. Gonna get a few extra views to the gold. Huh, I'm still alive here. Can you guys believe that? Uh-oh, Britain's trying to fight me, but I have the heal, so it's fine. I'm gonna drop now the obsidian. He don't have the armors, I'm gonna get the +2 armor. Actually guys, I'm not gonna get the +2 armor. I guess I can tank him without the armors. And that's what I will try to do. 6 ranges, messing up a lot of crossbows. But I need some support. Playing without knights here is just minimizing my potential. Look how much army I'm actually losing to this guy, because he has the extra range from the Britons. But starting to boom. Upgrading the obsidian. Once I have spare food, I'm actually going to upgrade the armor, because I'm taking way too much hits from the Briton. He's doing a very good job after a bad feudal. Picking up the fight, aiming at the elephants, moving, minimizing the damage, killing all the elephants. There we go. We are doing damage. I'm making more TCs. A TC on the gold. Fuck, man. My ally needed to help me a bit more here. I know that we are with less people, but I needed a few more knights just to tank up the damage so that I can take up the, so I can take down the buildings. I'm gonna dive on his TC. Come on, dude. Elephants are always troublesome to deal with. I wanted to kill those guys faster because then we can actually make a good play for the Imperial Age. That's not happening. Killing the TC. Finally, we're actually getting some kills. I didn't make the armor yet. Game is not being good for me. But I'm pressuring this guy now. Orange is finally out of the game. But my ally, man, he needs to follow me up. I'm trying to fight those guys, I'm trying to mass, but he needs to follow me, which is essential for my success on the game. Yes, this guy's dead, man. Let's go to the Khmer. We can just melt those elephants now. Let's keep going. I'm already going to send here. Uh-oh. Maybe not, huh? Because look at the amount of elephants. He just needs to get the scorpions, man. I'm just asking him to get the scorpions. But Khmer is investing a lot into army. The scorpions are killing like all of my army. He needs to focus on them. If this guy just focus on the scorpions, we might be fine. Now, maybe not, because the Indian is also on the next stage. And we might have to face Imperial camels. That's not so great. Those guys are still trying to survive. I'm getting worried. I have already to transition into plumed archers, guys, because else we are not going to be able to kill the Indian. I'm trying to kill the siege workshop. I feel like soon we are going to get raided heavily by the Indian. See, my ally seems to be dying to him. And if the other won't help, we won't be able to do it. If we could focus a bit more on our side in the beginning... Oh my god, I'm dead. Nothing that I can do, man. The reason why I stopped making archers. How can I actually stop this? Impossible, right? Only the elephants and the Briton we were taking on, but these I cannot stop. Trying to click up to Imperial Age. I feel like I might not be able to make my army. I invested way too heavily on the Castle Age. I was expecting a bit more of support during the castle. Now I might not be able to actually make the full transition that I need to do. I might be a bit late for that. It might be a bit late. But I still have hopes that it's possible. Ouch! Look at this. I'm trying to build some walls behind. Might not be enough. This guy just boomed without any intervention, so he seems very strong. I'm trying to buy time with stone walls. Maybe a second castle here might be good to allow me doing this. Alright, I'm fine. I'm just losing a few buildings, but that's not the end. Uh-oh. But this is closer to the end, right? I will be forced to drop an university here, because I'm just losing my first one. Massive plumed archers. Uh-oh. Oh, he gave up. That's good. That's good, that's good. He gave up on killing my university. That will help me. I still have to deal with all these camels. At least he's on me, not on my allies. This gives my allies some time to survive. Upgrading conscription, upgrading bracer, upgrading chemistry, upgrading the wood. Going right before the wood, making up a gate. Going right before the wood. Now I can just spend a lot of those plumed archers, and that will be my goal here to win the game. I need to buy my allies time, but they are getting pressured. The other guy here is getting pressured and he's way behind. This is not good. I feel like we are eventually going to lose this game. Of course, it's a 4 versus 3, but I felt like we could do it. Orange recovered himself in a good way after the early damage that he took. I have to give him the credit for how he played after the beginning. I can try to help him, but if I try to help this guy... Oh my god, look at this. I don't know how I can actually help those guys, man. They are so behind. Ah, that's bad. Anyway, we are playing with the plumed archers. I'm adding another castle. I feel like I'll have to make a transition also to halberdiers. So, on this case, I'm actually going to drop extra farms here. Upgrading more armors. Since I invested into the farms before the upgrade, I might have some trouble here to upgrade the plumed archers, but now I'm doing it. Okay. I feel like the Khmer might just try to add a lot of halberdiers to his composition as well. I might take some guys from the gold to put them already on the wood. I have a lot of gold banked up. Time to start killing camels. Plumed archers are not bad versus camels. See? I'm forcing him to go back at least. Oh no. But those guys didn't wall, man. They didn't make the walls like I did here. So they're getting raided heavily. Oh crap. This raid might even reach me. I don't like this at all. The elephants from the Khmer are here. I might have to block this and actually wall behind the gate. Finally, those are not my allies. I thought that it was like one pack from my ally, but I'm getting actually attacked by 3 guys with heavy camels, elephants. That's a huge mess. It's very difficult to be played. Crap. I'm trying here, but I'm fighting actually a lot of guys. The plumed could survive thanks to their armor, but now I'm having trouble in the front here with elephants and crossbows. I'm basically fighting 3 guys now, my allies are dead, and these guys, unfortunately for us, is the GG. We tried to play one style, we tried to pressure here, but I couldn't carry. I needed more army from my allies to carry. My idea here was the Frank to support me constantly with army in a way that we could just finish the enemies way faster. But I guess we just can't. I'm fighting power units and without proper support, without paladins that I would be expecting here, nothing can be done. GG. Congrats to the enemy team. Unfortunately, somewhat an unfair game, but we could still make a case for the Mayan gameplay. It happens.